With your feet on the air, your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it. Yeah. Your head will collapse if there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
Big head mode, little head mode.
Big head mode. Yes, the cheat codes are on. What is up, Donnie?
What's up, man?
I had to go to my work to take a shower today.
I thought you were about to say a different SH word.
Wow.
I was like, whoa.
All over the desk. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
Why do you have to go to work to take a shower?
My hot water tank is dead.
Oh, I've had that happen to me. Did it blow up?
Dead. It almost did. It was like
mine blew up. I came home. It was all over the floor. It was a whole nightmare. I didn't even
counting
know
our
they
blessings,
did that.
man. Oh, I should show you a picture. Because the way I describe it was like it's like it ate like too much Chinese food, and it was just like like it was just like distended, like this gut that was just couldn't handle the pressure anymore.
Yeah.
And I could see it. Like I could now understand what happens to these hot water tanks all the time. Like they just rust from the inside out, and then they can't handle all that steam and pressure inside.
And like they make them that way too. They're like,
yeah, like we all just have this.
With shittier metal, they'll blow up more often. You don't have to buy more. That'll help us.
I can't
That's
believe
what the plumber told me. The plumber told me,
believe
I didn't know they did this. He goes, oh yeah. He said they'll do it like once every 10 years. I was like, what? He goes,
yeah, we all just live with this.
He was like, well, like back in the 80s, they made them better. He was like, now they've realized that if they make them worse, you'll buy more of them. So
brutal. Planned obsolescence. It's there with, I don't even know how many gallons of water are in that thing. Too many.
Yeah.
Because so we got lucky. In our case, it was not a flood situation, but it was damn near. So shut it off and drained all the water out of there. Got like a drain in the bottom of the basement.
Real life dad shit right there. Like you were doing some real adulting.
Seriously, like I'm like turning off the gas. I'm like turning this lever here and there.
In there.
Yeah, and then it happens this thing like where speaking of like real adulting, like you hear people talk about like money related to being an adult. It's like, oh, my roof was caving in, so I had to get a new roof, and that was $15,000. It's like, well, where the hell did that come from exactly?
Yep.
Where did $15,000 come from?
Exactly.
Yeah, not a thing.
Because I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Exactly. Well, you know, because I can't have too many good things happen all at once, Donnie. So, like, I would have started with now. Number one, I'm right now realizing I haven't hit record on a local, so hopefully.
Oh, I didn't either. I forgot all
Melon
that.
records.
I never do it when we're not doing it. This is the only time I ever record a local.
Does Melon do a recording?
Yeah, Melon records locals.
Okay, send me the Melon thing. That'll be fine. That's
you want the mix or do you want the individual tracks?
Let's see both. Let's try both.
Okay.
Yeah,
right. It's just more for me to download, but sure.
Okay. Well, that's what we get for starting 20 minutes late. Yeah, that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. Oh my gosh, we're off to it, man. There's nobody home though right now, so I've got all day. I'm good.
They are all getting sick.
Ugh. In
Everybody's-
August? You don't get sick in
everybody's-
August.
Everybody's snotty and sniffly and tired. They're all
Disgusting.
napping. They're all in bed.
Oh,
all of
stay
them.
away.
I was
Yeah,
like, y'all need to
seal the
get together.
doors. Yeah.
I think it's school, right? Something like that.
They're
Checks
back
out.
in school?
Oh yeah, first week.
Dude, that sucks. It's
Actually went, like,
summertime.
last week. This was their first full week.
Oh, that's brutal. I don't like that. I don't like it. I know we're in different worlds. I
what I
guess that
don't like-
explains it.
Is that I have a concert to go to on Tuesday,
Oh yeah.
and I've bought all this stuff,
Yeah.
and like she better get her shit together, like, cause I'm going.
Yeah. Find
With
another
or
date.
without her. Like,
Yep,
yeah,
you got-
I'm going. So
You can go someone
fucking
else.
figure it out. All right. I don't know. You need to fucking take some zinc or some shit. Like, you need to get it together.
Dude, what it would be like to be
Now
married
is
to
not the
you. Like
time.
there's no nonsense. Like there's no like, oh, I wonder if Donnie's mad at me. It's like,
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
know.
no. Yeah,
You'll
that is spot on.
Like, I wonder-
you'll know.
what does Donnie think? It's like you already know. There's no wondering with this. Like that
That's
sounds
true.
great. That sounds great.
I never thought about it like that, but that is. I'm gonna have to clip that. I'm gonna have to clip that and send
You
it to
just
somebody.
send it to
Clip
her.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody clip that for me.
This is why it's a good thing. Well, like maybe in the short term, maybe it can be a little bit like painful or whatever. In the long term, like yeah, it's a good thing.
I've always wondered. I mean, not wondered. I've always been told, and I do regularly believe that, like, that's why I'm very divisive with people. There's some people that like me.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
Like I'm hard to like at first. It's like I grow on people eventually. They're like, I
Yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
you know. But then there's people that literally loathe me from the get go.
Yeah. Well, they're missing out.
Never changes. You know, like they like, I fucking hate this guy. He's so rude.
Well, they're closed-minded, Donnie.
I'm very hitter. No, I don't think they are. I'm very abrasive.
Yeah, I
know?
guess
like
so.
I do know that about me. You know, like there's like a cordialness that like people typically have, you know, like there's like a little dance when you meet like a strangers,
Yeah.
you know, and there's like a
Yeah.
politeness and stuff. And I
Mhm.
didn't,
Oh, after you.
you know, I didn't grow up with like the, you know, elbows off the table, you know, manners. Like this is how you know, so like
Sure.
the way that the person, you know, that was me at 12. Like I was the same way then, you know, like it's never changed.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I have one speed, man. Like it's always
Oh,
been
I love
that
it
way.
though. I love it. And I don't know, it just makes it very like I understand like who I'm dealing with here. Like I get it. We can like click into place and like let's just go. Like there's no like it's very efficient.
It's something I've had to learn to like try to be cognizant of. You
I
know,
get-
it's like, you know, it's
I
like,
hate that that's a
real
thing
tough,
though. I hate that.
you know, that's why like now, like I'm generally like really polite to strangers. Like I try to
Sure.
go out of my way because I know if we actually start talking, I actually start giving, you know, actual thoughts.
Yeah.
Like it eventually like that'll come. You know, it is what it is. But it is, I think it is out of it's like an out of internal sense. It's like I wish that's how everybody was with me. You
Same.
know, it's almost like I'm projecting. It's like I wish you were just like I wish we could just talk and there'd be no like feelings hurt and we could just be honest and like let's get to the point. Let's move on.
Yeah. This is why I hold you in such high regard because I'm like, that sounds great. But also like the way that you kind of almost describe yourself, like you're not an asshole. Like you're not like going
I
up to people
definitely
and just
can
like
be. No, I definitely can and have been a lot. No, that's not true at all. And actually, just
that's
think
not
you're-
true.
I think you're wrong. I honestly think if you asked most people that know me, I think they would actually tell you. They'd be like, "Oh, he's totally an asshole." I think that's the
Oh,
word they
man.
use.
No,
But
I've
they
met
would-
assholes. I
but they
know.
they
Look,
would
I know an
use it-
asshole when I see one, Donnie.
They would use it like in an endearing way, though.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's, but they would say that, like, "Oh, yeah." Like, I had my best friend in high school. He would always tell people, like, "Donnie's not the one you go to hear what you want to hear."
Mm,
You know, like,
Yeah,
he'll give you
what
advice.
you need to hear.
just-
Mm-hmm,
Like, just he's gonna tell you what he thinks, and that's it.
mm-hmm. I resonate
Uh,
with people like that, man. Big time. I definitely do.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
I generally like when I find people like that. I think we typically hit it off.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I lack tact and I miss like social cues. Like there are times where I'm like, you know, I say something and then like it really like in the professional, like in the workplace,
Sure.
it's not great. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like
can
there's
see
a
it.
reason
Yeah.
why they like to like just go in your hole and stay
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because like I mean I'll
Don't
give you
talk
some
to
I'll
anyone.
give you some examples. I was walking through the state house, like the Capitol building of like our
Mhm.
of my state, right? And I'm just walking around, looking around, never been there before. As I was walking around, the atrium began to part, and I was so oblivious to why this was happening that I
Like the
literally just
people,
yeah, like I literally just walked from one
dude,
side
I
to the
thought you were like
other,
in an
looking around.
Inception scene or something. Like the building started to move apart.
So like I walked like from one side to the building to the other to look at the other side, and then I walked to the other side to the other side, and then the person I was with, I could like kind of hear them back from me like Donnie, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, what is the big deal? What is your fucking problem?
Yeah.
The governor was walking behind me, and I'm
Sweet.
completely oblivious to the
Oh my
entire thing
God.
that's about to happen. But
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
but when people that know me,
yeah.
like I feel like you, people that know me, if I ever, they're like, that's very, yeah, of course.
That would happen to me. That'd be like, oh, that's weird. Like everybody's just like
Yeah,
over
I'm like,
there.
what's the big deal? Like, okay, he's walking by. What am I supposed to kneel? Like, what the
I
fuck's
thought you were
his
gonna say
problem?
like you had some sort of weird reputation. Nobody wanted to be next to you. They're all moving away from you.
Yeah, Jess is here. Hey, Jess. Said he was in the early with Becca, but he softened up. I still give Rebecca shit.
Yeah, I don't
She's the
know if
only
you've
person
softened
that
up with
does.
her.
No. If anything, I think I've gotten more hard on her.
Yeah,
because we get to know each
you're
other.
like you get her. Well, that's just it. Like you get her, she gets you. Like that's how this works.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the deal.
Yeah, and you got to get to that place. Everybody else, dances around. I love this like thing. Why is everyone so scared of her? It's like one of my favorite things that you say on a regular basis. Like why are people scared of anyone?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, well, with Delvin, it's just flattery. He just has
Sure, yeah.
gaga eyes the whole time. He's like,
Oh
Rebecca
my
could say
God, he
anything.
does not.
Yeah, with I don't know. I don't know. She's intimidating,
Mm,
I guess. Not to me, but apparently to a lot of other people.
yeah, it's just like, okay, I guess I'll go over here. Won't deal with that. On a Nintendo podcast, of course.
Yeah.
Just the most intense people we know.
I love her to death. She's like the worst person, she'll come tell me like, you're wrong. That's
Yeah.
why you're boring. Like we argue. I like that.
Damn.
Give me that. I'm here for this energy.
Yeah, you like that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, because you always come backed up, like, because that could kill a lot of conversations, right? You're wrong, and it's like, okay, like some people might just back down, and as far
Better
as like
be prepared to
podcasting
show
goes,
your work.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm
Yeah.
prepared to show mine.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, dude, that is amazing to me.
You better
And it's
believe
not. It's not even just that like you've done your homework like in the moment. Like it is weeks or months at a time. Like the consistency of like an opinion or like it's not like you're just making it up on the spot, and that's clear to me because somebody will ask you about it like later on, and like you'll give the same answer. It's not like it changed because you woke up 2 hours earlier the day before. Like I don't know. Like
I think I'm pretty dogmatic that way. My daughter is
Mhm.
too. I see it in both of us.
oh
We
really?
have like yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's just like a deep desire.
You just
to,
know
like-
it. You know your stuff.
Well, it's not that I know it. Actually, I wouldn't say that because I know my stuff. I have like a deep desire to know. Like if I don't
Mm.
understand something, I want to understand something.
Sure. Yeah.
So like I try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I want to know like the source of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just take like, oh, so and so said something. I'm like, oh, well, that's true. Like, no, I'm like, oh, but is that true? And then I
Yep.
like start to
It's a good
I start to
question.
dive. I start to like dig. I start to like
Mhm.
peel it, but only things that interest me. It's not everything. I'm not trying to do it all day, but
Yeah.
like I do like when I'm like building notes or doing stories and things like that. Like, yeah. And I think because I am like the show producer more than like I'm the one putting together what it is we talk about like week to week.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Because I am the one doing that, I genuinely try to get at the root of something,
Mm-hmm.
so if the conversation starts to go places, I can
Now,
kind of,
actually,
not
here's the
necessarily like
background.
that, but like to kind of steer it, like, or like I'll be like,
Mhm.
well, this happened and here's what they said about it, and then
Yeah.
like, but here's what they said about, like I start to try to bring multiple like
Big
kind of
time.
vantage points
Yeah.
or something like that.
No, it's why I wish PSVG was a gigantic, huge monolith podcast. I just wish that was I mean, I know you don't want like trillions of people in a Discord and that changes things and whatnot, but just like, I don't know.
The YouTube comment. I don't even want the smoke. Like,
And that's like such an idealist like perspective that I'm bringing to the table. It's like, okay, so without all the nonsense that comes with, thousands of people listening to your show, I just want the influence. I just want like to be the example, because it just doesn't happen.
I think that's something we both share, because I often will wonder why others aren't doing that.
Right.
Like, why aren't the mega monolith, Corpo Speaks? Why don't they do that?
Yeah, well, we've heard from some PR people, don't talk about rumors with respect to our platform, or we will end our relationship with you. And it's like, okay, we'll see how that goes. Like, that's the messaging that some of these PR people have.
That's a wild thing. Just like, I wouldn't even broach that topic with anybody.
Yep, that was that was about a year ago that we heard that, and it's like, okay, that's a pretty clear message to me. Like, we'll talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, no, I'm very much that way.
And then it's just a matter of like, is it interesting? Like that, those are two separate things. Like a rumor can be a rumor and it's interesting, and then you're like, yeah, you want to dive into it. But like a rumor is like, if it's gonna be like damaging to a platform, it's like, well, it's out there. Like there's stuff that's out there that people want to hear us talk about, or we want to talk about. I think is
the
more
news is the news.
The news is the news, and it's
like it is what it is. What people are talking about is it.
Well, and then for us, like there's this hyper fixation on like, do we actually care about it? Because I talk about the Blizzard stuff lots, but it's like really anything. Whenever something like comes up, and I noticed this on, I think like maybe it was Luke and I actually doing the Xbox drive, and like someone would come up and I'm like, one of us were just like, you could just tell we did not care or know anything about it, but like we just were doing, and those are, it's funny to think about those in early days.
I think that's the important part of like, I mean, I call it the producer. I don't know what the right writer. I don't know what the right term is.
Sure. But you put it together.
I think it's important for that person. Like that's something that I don't talk about all the news.
Yeah.
There are important pieces of news I don't even talk about because I'll look at it and be like, man, I don't care.
Yeah. And that's a tough gig.
I'll also ask myself, I'd be like, do my co-hosts care?
Right.
Like sometimes I will bring up a thing that I don't care about, but it's there for a reason.
Yes.
It's there because I know Dev cares about it, or I know, like the reason, like if there's Bungie news, we're going to cover it. Because Dev's into Bungie. I got a Bungie person. You know, if there's PlayStation news, I'm going to cover it. I got a PlayStation guy. If there's Zelda news, better bet Rebecca and I are going to talk about it. I don't care if it's a keychain, because Rebecca wants to talk about it.
It's a keychain.
So I think that's a part of it. You can't just, I know what you're talking about. There are folks that like just cover all the news.
All rumors, like all, whether they're substantial or not.
It's just like, but like, do you care?
Totally. Yeah. Well, what we've learned is we can fill
Half-Life 3, Sean. It's real.
Dude, thank you for bringing it up, because that's actually what I was thinking about. Yes. Like you go on, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, and you uncover how many like thousands of words, thousands of pages.
There's a whole thread to pull on. If you don't want to go find it, you can dive down a rabbit hole right now.
I mean,
about whether or not this is real or not. But
that is the makings of true conspiracy theories. But that's okay. Like I'll ignore that for like. There's thousands of supporting arguments for whatever. We didn't go to the moon or JFK or whatever. But yes, like
it's real and it's happening.
Hell. Yes, man, I love it. Well, and it's probably been. So, what was the latest one? Was that it was a voice actor? So
there's a voice actress who has a website that most everybody pretty much like. You can look up people's DNS owner, and you can look up the administrator of the site. So this isn't like a personal blog that she does on her own. Yeah. She's a part of a management studio, and they do the websites for their talent.
Yeah.
Okay. On this website, there is a project, an unannounced video game project that somebody put code name White Sands.
Yeah, man.
Black Mesa, New Mexico. So people saw it. The internet's undefeated. They screen grabbed it, started talking about it, started talking about it on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then other people chimed in, and you start to find out that like there are Half-Life, I don't know, super wonderkins that are like, that data mine they're looking for anything.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how do they? It's obviously not like looking at individual pages. Like that's the rudimentary dumb idiot.
So what they've been doing is they've been pulling. So that's a part
of it. Keywords or something. You
have the voice actress, but then they've been data mining, like source engine stuff lately, and they have found a a string of evidence pointing that there's development happening. There's new HEV suits, new characters, new enemies,
Yeah,
and not
man.
like a page of them. There's tons of it. If you get into Reddit and
Oh,
you
I
just
love
start
it.
clicking, there's a lot of it. I can send you a whole video of a person breaking the whole thing
Yeah,
down.
man.
And that because they found the voice actress and the code name, it's like that's the straw that brought,
Kinda brings it all together.
Before it was like, yeah, but this could just be it's new code. It hasn't been there before. Like they've found it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like Half-Life Alyx stuff. I think it's Dota stuff. Like it's a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. And then with the actress, now people are like, oh shit, this is
And they took it down.
oh, they
Like,
immediately once
that's
it went
the-
live, they
Mhm.
immediately took it down.
Oh my
And that's
god,
that's the correction. You know, like the
Yeah.
one it'd be one thing if they just disputed it and be like, we're happy that you think that, but no, it's actually really a two different project.
totally. Yeah.
It's
no,
another
he
thing to be
busted.
like
Absolutely busted, dude.
erase for meaning.
Red-handed, smoke from the gun. I love it. And the thing is, I have completely erased the possibility from my mind that Half-Life 3 will ever happen. Like, and for
Really?
man, oh yeah, I just
Oh,
feel
no,
like it's. I feel like it's too
guarantee you
long.
It will happen.
Well, now that it's real, well,
I'm not
sorta
even saying
real.
here's the thing. Here's what I believe. And I'm new to this Half-Life thing.
Right.
Half-Life 3 has been started and stopped a couple times
Yeah.
in the annuals of time.
Yeah.
There's no telling if this also doesn't get stopped and never like it's early. They're working
Right.
on something. They're prototyping something. We have no idea if it comes to fruition,
Yeah.
right? But they're working on something. That's almost guaranteed. Like it's
Yeah, but they
almost
got-
100% accurate. They're working on something right now.
Yeah.
But I believe that whenever you have something like this that's like has the zeitgeist and a hold of people, it's just a matter of time before somebody cashes that check. It will
Right.
happen.
Y-
Half-Life
well,
3
mm,
will happen. It may
mm,
be after Gabe passes away, but like there's too much on the bone there for
yeah.
something to not come from it. Like something will come from it.
That is, you absolutely nailed it. And it's the saddest truth about it is
Yeah.
eventually somebody's going to cash that check. That's just
There's a
potential
reason we get sequels.
money sitting. Yeah. I mean, what are we on to run Incredible 16 and we're on Frozen 14th and whatever else
Exactly.
got announced over at D23. So for me, it's a defense mechanism though. To
That
like
makes sense.
deny that its existence. I'm just like, don't hurt
give me
me.
hope.
I'm good. Like it's weird how it ended. It's very strange. It was clearly meant to like have a follow-up, have some sort of finale to it. So, but I've just kind of dealt with it and you kind of move on. And so if it is real, like part of the other reason, if it's not about me, like you understand the hype that surrounds Half-Life and how,
This is the first time that I kind of get it.
yeah.
The
And I mean,
first
like
time in
this-
my entire life of all this gaming, and I've seen all these nerds on the internet for decades talk about it.
Mhm.
This is the first time that I'm like, oh no, I'm with you though. Like,
And
that
you
sounds
are, and
awesome.
because you didn't play it back in the day. That's so interesting too, because
Mhm.
like you played it as a modern gamer.
I loved it. I don't know if you heard
Yeah.
on the podcast recently. Somebody asked me where I had college football ranked, and I was
Yeah.
reading off my list as I have it. I have Half-Life 3.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. It's really good. It's really good, and it was
I really enjoyed it.
1998. That
Yeah, I
original
know.
one, man. Just like where the heck did this? Like probably the best closest thing to it around that time was probably GoldenEye. Other than that, like
Yeah, Half-Life eats
nothing-
GoldenEye's lunch.
I kind of think so.
No, it does. No, you don't have to. It does. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
GoldenEye sucks. It just that's how good Half-Life is.
And that's just it, because like I marvel at GoldenEye's like
I
mission
bet the
layout
people
and
that
everything.
made GoldenEye would be like, dude, Half-Life makes our game look like shit.
Dude, it's the the
You just
AI
think
when
about,
the
their-
soldiers
you
start
think,
showing
look at
up.
GoldenEye and you think about like their hands and like paintball mode and big head, and,
Totally.
like Half-Life's like, no, what if you had like a bazooka and fought a helicopter on the side of a mountain?
Yes,
You know, you're
yes,
like, oh,
yes.
shit,
These
are not the
moments.
same thing.
What are they like? Showpiece, kind of like those big moments you have almost like in an Uncharted. What the heck are those?
Yeah.
What do people call those? Anyway, just those big
Yeah,
huge,
showpieces, set pieces.
Yeah, set pieces. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's exactly. You fight the tank.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
the big
it's like
tentacle
Last of Us.
monster. You got to turn
You know,
on the.
look what I was saying earlier. That's why we got Last of Us 2. There's no way they're gonna leave that cliffhanger. No way in hell they were just gonna let it be and
I
call it a
know.
day.
I know. Yeah.
It's too tempting. It's too tempting. There's too much money. It's too lucrative. You can't just stop. You have
But
to
it
keep
has
going.
to. This is the weird thing, and I don't know if you're at this level of hype with it as well, or expectation, like because the first games were so advanced. Like, is that part of the identity of
Oh, that's
Half-Life?
interesting. Oh,
Like,
yeah, I wouldn't even bring any of that to bear, to be honest with you.
yeah,
But
I feel like
I
that's
haven't-
why they haven't done it.
I haven't played 2 yet. You think they're trying to like reach a bar that they feel like they can't meet?
Yeah.
I could understand that. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like almost like a Grand Theft Auto kind of thing as well. Like that's why you don't get GTA like every other year. Like it's
Well,
there's
we
supposed
did.
to be moments. Yeah.
And
Well,
then we
yeah, that's true. Have you seen that graphic where it's like literally like
Yeah.
every year,
1,
every
2,
year.
3, 8
Yeah.
years, 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But yeah, it's kind of nuts that they just kept pumping them out back in the day. Any game, like that's the 360 PS3
Don't
era
forget
was
about
like,
the DLCs and the spin-offs.
oh
Like, not
yeah,
only did we get 3, and then Liberty City, we got Liberty City Stories, we got
yeah.
Vice City Stories,
Gaytoni.
and the Ballad of Gaytoni. Like, what was the biker gang?
Oh, the
like,
bikers one, yeah.
know?
Brother, what the heck was it?
They
Anyway.
got bunches, tons of stuff.
Yep. And now we get these games that are forever. But I
And we
think
get
that's
them once
part of it
every
too.
Third console generation, apparently.
Yeah. But it's funny because it kind of goes back into something we chatted about a couple months ago, I think, where like I'm looking for that genius to come out with like the next big thing, like somebody to come out and go like, this is something you've never seen before, you know. And Half-Life kind of like
Interesting.
it embodies that a little bit, and I think it's impossible to do it again from Half-Life's perspective, because I think what the next thing isn't like the next best first-person shooter. It's something totally different.
Yeah, I was about to
You know?
say, I mean, it's hard to find new ground when we have so much, so many bricks laid already. I'm like,
Right.
in my head, I'm just like, what would that even be?
Well, and that's
But
why
the
people got
thing, you
excited with
wouldn't know
VR, I
until you
think.
see it, but like VR, yeah, I
VR
mean, like,
could have been in. I think that's why Carmack went over with that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. Just
can
like
see
what
it.
just a new way.
But
And
now
that's why
it's-
Nintendo focuses on their controllers so much and like what that experience is. If it's not going to be tech
Mm.
or frames or pixels or whatever, it's how are you
Have you
engaging
seen
with
the
it?
new Switch rumors?
Oh, tell me. I actually haven't.
I want to talk
Look
about
at
this
this.
with Jack tomorrow, but if any Shack hears, you get an early dose. So let me pull up my notes. There's there's 2 new rumors, and like I talk about rumors
I'll
because they're
pull it up
fun.
too.
We don't even know
Yeah.
if they're true, but these are from Family Boards. So the first rumor that started to go around: Switch 2 may stream to your television without a dock.
Oh yeah.
Or hang on, let me rephrase. Switch 2 may stream to your television without needing to like cable the dock.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a dock,
Sure.
because then rumor 2 comes out. And rumor 2 is that, and this is from Nintendo Universe, which is this Portuguese site. They've had some leaks like for the past year and a half. The Switch 2 dock may have a built-in cooler, like a fan, like airflow, and charge at 60 watts, which is like double what the Switch. So like the idea that like you'll have a dock, and I'm not leaving like the idea that you could cast a signal from the Switch to the television. I'm like, yeah, that makes it. We've been doing this for like a decade. Like that
Yeah.
totally makes sense, right? AirPads or iPads,
Wii U.
AirPlay, Wii U. So therein lies the fun part of these 2 rumors. If you think of these rumors and you go, okay, could they be true? Why would you want to stream cast from the Switch to your television?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, part of it's like maybe you could hold the Switch while it's also playing on the television. And it's like, well,
Wii
why
U.
would you want to do that? And yeah, it starts to come back like, could there be any chance? And I almost like, this is where maybe you feel like I feel the way you feel about Half-Life here. I'm like, don't give me hope.
I
Like,
know.
don't even tell me we're about to reverse engineer a Wii U. Like, don't
You,
even do that yet.
honestly, the balls on them to do it though. The Wii U is a catastrophic console platform for them. Like just put them on the
Epic
brink.
proportions.
Just terrible. And they go like, yeah, we're gonna try it again. We're gonna give that another go.
We're gonna fix it.
Yeah,
I
we're
can
gonna
fix her.
it. Exactly. Yeah, it's like you broke up with it already. You're already done.
I don't know if I believe these or not.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty techie.
But actually, like, there's the only part that makes me want to believe, and the reason that I think a rumor like this gets traction, is it's just Nintendo enough that you're like,
Yeah.
it's just like that could like there's the gimmick. Holy
Yeah.
shit, like there it
Yeah.
is. Because everybody's like, what is it just gonna be another Switch? It's like,
Yeah.
but no, it's not just going to be another Switch. It's a whole new thing that nobody's doing. But
Golly.
I personally
Yeah.
I don't think Nintendo's gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna go back to that. I think it's a development issue more than a technical issue.
Sure. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think they want to make people account for extra things like that.
Is the world ready for such a revolution? Like we don't need that yet. We can still have
I mean,
DS to 3DS kind of situation here.
yeah, no, I think I would be surprised because every signal that we've gotten from Furukawa since he's taken over is like a very, very don't rock the boat,
Yeah, steady as she goes.
don't mess anything up.
Mm-hmm.
We're not taking big swings, like very conservative, play it down the middle type of Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that to me would signal like a big swing that I at this point I could be wrong, but I can't believe they have it in them. I'm like, I don't know if they have the chutzpah to do it, you know, like that's an Iwata move. That's not where we are right now.
Yeah, unforced error for sure, I think. Like if it was not to turn
you
out,
open
it's like
up
you don't
the
need
possibility.
to. Yeah.
But like, I don't know, the idea of the sheer chance, the thought of bringing back Nintendo Land, of having dual screen Zelda again, like, oh, it makes me so
man.
happy.
What the heck was I playing the other
if
day?
it's true, I may have to bring the Eat Hype moniker back. I'm like, we're back in.
Oh my god.
Let's run it back. Like, I'd be so excited.
Crap. That's the exciting thing. Like you just did it actually. Like even a little bit of your own defense mechanism. Like don't get me too excited. Like I don't want to get hyped and then be disappointed.
But like, if they did,
man, but
they
yeah.
do. If I could see the commercial now, if they hold up a switch and they click a button, that shit goes to the television and that screen turns on, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Yeah, man. Well, there's definitely like a Nintendo focuses on families and to a certain extent kids as well. Like how much easier that makes it for video games to exist in the household.
And if you have like the dock and it casts, like all of a sudden, I picture, okay, the commercial. Like I keep going to the commercial. How do you sell it in a minute, right? The commercial. Kid puts the switch in the dock, presses a button, TV turns on, right? It looks like the switch is very unassuming. You're like, yeah, it makes sense. Kid number 2 walks in with his own switch, starts playing the same fucking game. Mom picks up her switch, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, and
dude, real exciting.
It'd be great to go back and like live watch the first commercial for Switch because it was just so good. It was just it was one of the best commercials I think I've ever seen for a tech product. Holy crap, dude. But for something that didn't exist before. Like we talk about like the dock.
I know you're right. You are right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I heard somebody else say this. Like I heard somebody else say, like, Nintendo worked with NVIDIA on the first Switch to custom. I was like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Nintendo licensed NVIDIA's product.
Sure.
NVIDIA made the Switch. It existed years ahead of time. Just nobody cared.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's you're right because it's the Tegra chip. Like what the heck was that device called?
The NVIDIA Shield.
The Shield, that's right.
The only reason that I even know this is I won one.
Yeah.
I had one. I won one on Twitter.
Yeah.
CNET. CNET gave me one.
Yeah.
They had a Twitter. It's like, hey, if you like this and you think, like, we'll give you one. And it's the only time I've ever won anything on Twitter. And I retweeted or whatever. And some dude popped my DMs. They're like, hey, we need your address. I'll send this thing to you. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And I had one, and I got one. It was like maybe 3 or 4 years before the Switch came out.
Yeah.
And I played Metal Gear Rising on it. Like Vengeance was on it.
Yeah.
They had their own little store.
Seller.
And it was like the very earliest stages of like GeForce, or like GeForce Now and stuff like that. They had their own controller.
Yeah.
But it didn't have Joy-Con. It wasn't Nintendo-fied.
Right.
It was weird,
just the thing.
Neighbor Matt computer guy device. It wasn't Nintendo device.
Yeah.
Nintendo looked at that and they were like, we can do something with this that you're not doing.
Dude, that's actually my entire argument that I've been talking about for years. I just haven't touched on it in a little while for VR. Like, I think if Nintendo needs to touch VR and it would take off like crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if it's so funny you bring that. I just talked about this on PSVG.
Yeah. Well, it's the games. It's the experience.
2 ago.
Yeah.
At the very end of our show, I was talking about this because the Wii U, my analogy for the Wii U forever has been VR. I've been telling that for folks for years. The Wii U was VR. The only thing it was missing is you slapping that damn gamepad to your face.
Yeah.
But if you slap that gamepad to your face, it is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It has motion controllers, it has haptics and like rumble and shakes and it moves. But the big thing is that your point of view is not stuck to the edges of the television screen. You
Yeah.
can look off to the left and the right and behind you, and there's a world of camera built into this thing.
Yeah.
And then you see what they tried to do with Nintendo Land. Like the whole point of that was to take the gamepad and look away from the television. That was the whole thing.
Yep.
So they did that, and then they did Labo VR. Right? It's like somebody over there, somebody in EPD team, whatever the hell they call their studios now, somebody wants to make a VR game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the DNA is everywhere. They're trying. They're trying to do it without actually, but we're gonna do VR though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they manifest that, but they're
Yeah, well,
thinking about it.
They definitely are, and yeah, it's that magic. It's the experience that the player has as well as the game, and it's even hard to even kind of like articulate.
they
But
tried
that's
to
why it
take
doesn't
it to,
exist
like,
yet.
They tried to take it to mobile. We had like those AR things on 3DS, and they had like their Pikmin game. You know, like they're trying. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. There's clues.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what I was trying to say in PSVD, or the case I was trying to make, is that like I think you can very easily, people that follow Nintendo or Nintendo fans can definitely find concepts or game concepts or tech that were used before and failed, and only to be like revised and used again and used again. Like they're not one to like just give up on something that like they like.
Yeah.
You know, so like I can't let go of the idea. It's like, man, are we sure they're not going to try to do something?
I know. Yeah.
I'm just wondering
I
if it's
I-
tech meeting affordability. Like there's some vertex that they got to get to before they can do it. But I have this idea that they're going to.
Dude, there's so much history there of like everyone else trying a thing, failing. Nintendo's like, we got this. It's like consoles in the home. We got this. Like Atari, you blew this up. We got this.
I mean,
handhelds, Game Gear, you want to try that? Yeah, you're better. Well, we're gonna do
just
this.
go to that,
We own.
that magical Miyamoto moment on E3 stage where he walks out with a sword and shield.
Totally.
And he starts putting a Wiimote in his hand. Like it's there.
That,
they want to do it. They want to put you in their world.
In it. Your body is the controller.
They want to
like
put
Connect.
you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, like actually, it's funny. I joke about Connect. Like it's funny what happens when somebody else does it, and it's just not quite right. Like Connect wasn't quite right. The PlayStation Move wasn't quite right. Like it lacks the Nintendo magic, and it's the focus on what it's like for the family, for the player to experience that, and also like the IP. There's just not the IP to like. Nobody cares about jumping into like. Frankly, like Horizon is the best that they got on PSVR. It's like it's good, and a lot of people like it. It's not to take away from it, but it's not foundational. It's not like fundamental to games.
If I had to guess, I think it's not good enough yet for Nintendo. I think they are probably
agreed.
Yeah, they're probably looking at it and they're like, not yet.
Yeah,
you know, it's just not quite there yet. When it
everybody's
gets there,
screaming at us about they did the VR. They already did the Virtual Boy. It's like not that, but so they know what it's like when it's not ready. Yeah.
So that's the thing. People are like, they did Virtual Boy and then they never did it again. It's like, no, they've literally been doing VR things ever since then.
Big time. Yeah.
They haven't let it go. Like, I don't know what it is. I would love, like, that's what I want to know. It's more than will they do it or not? I want to know who the fuck over there keeps trying to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody over there that wants to do it. I want to know who that is.
Yeah. Well, it's, man.
Is it Miyamoto? Is it somebody else? Is somebody we don't know about? Is there like some 30-year-old like sitting in a corner, like in a cubicle over there? It's like, but what if it was like this? You know,
it's the person whoever is obsessing about making the whole experience different for whoever is holding the controller. Like it's the same mindset that goes like, you know what, for Mario 64, we need like this 3-pronged.
We need a different thing. Yeah, we need
you need a different thing. It's that mindset that's just like it's reverse. They've often talked about this, like the way they build their games is like totally opposite of how everybody else does it. And so it's from that mindset of not trying to find like a system seller for VR. It's more innate than that.
Who would build an entire controller around a game and then adapt it to the entire console? And then not only do it again and again and again,
and it works. Make it work.
Like they did it for the 64, and they did it for the GameCube, did it for the Wii, and did it for the Wii U. Like they just keep doing it.
Yeah, the A button is enormous. Have fun. Yeah,
I still love my GameCube controller. It's still my favorite.
Everybody does.
I'll never listen to any detractors. It's my favorite. That face button, it's for the face buttons alone. Those face buttons should be the face buttons for like every controller. I love it.
As
ABXY.
I age,
Oh,
Donnie, I don't want face buttons anymore. I want them on the back. I want ass buttons.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Are you one of those?
I'll play the whole thing with just like the things on
Like
the back. 'cause
this?
my
You've seen the kids, and they're like, like
I know, but that's why, because like kids are doing like
what are
this.
you
The
doing?
claw. That's so funny to
Oh.
talk about that on the Xbox Drive yesterday.
blows my
Yeah,
mind.
so just put them on the back. Like you want to be using your pointer fingers, not your thumbs, to be hitting buttons. Like my thumb,
I've still
broke
never
my.
I've never adapted to paddles.
Oh, they're great.
I mean,
They're really
I
nice
use
and
my
just a
paddles
little-
for screenshots. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I've ever used my paddles for. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I'll
they're
take a
good
video.
stuff, man.
Click.
Yeah, I'm just
Love it.
waiting for whatever the next Elite controller they're gonna make over in Xbox Land. Still haven't
It's
done
gonna
another
be
one.
the pants one, the pants controller we saw.
Golly, we really still haven't seen. We should like go back and like look at the. Remember when they like unveiled everything? It was just pages and pages and pages.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
What the heck?
and we already see
man?
that. We already see that they've moved.
Yeah.
So like that console that they showed, the adorably all digital Series X, didn't look anything like that, and it's white.
Right.
It had a black mock-up, and it was circular. It was a cylinder, and like, nope, it's just a white one that's completely like.
I saw a picture of it
soulless.
that made it look slightly better. I know last time we talked about it, like I think we're both on the same page. Like white and blocky is just like
No.
boring and no.
It has
Um,
nothing on it.
I know.
It's completely blank. Do something. Put something on it. Like make a design or something. Do something to it.
I pulled up.
They're like, don't you want a giant white box that's just flat on every side? Like, no, not really.
I know. Yeah, they're so huge. They're so. It's too bad that they couldn't made it
I
smaller
feel like
or
when you
anything
took
like
the
that.
why when you take the drive out, does that free up some room to
Inside.
At least shrink it a little. Like make it
Yeah.
less tall. Make it shorter.
I mean, but the thing is,
They're
you
like,
get to
"No,
use the
here's
same
the
fans
exact
and
same
everything.
thing."
Everything else is the same. Like you
They
just
might as
keep
well not even
manufacturing.
change the faceplate. They might as well just take the disc out and be like, oh yeah, faceplate doesn't work. Don't stick anything in there. Like they just made it blank.
Now
I
it's a
don't know.
pattern, though. That's what they
I
did
don't
with
know
the
why
one.
That blankness bothers me so much. It's like the
'Cause
void of
It's
anything.
lazy.
Yeah, I'm just like, do anything. Do
You're like, that's
something.
what I would do because I don't know how to do anything different. Like that's
Ugh,
how that's
I-
my what is it? Industrial engineering, like the design of it. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They called it the Brooklyn Xbox Series X refresh. Most powerful Xbox ever. Now adorably all digital. This was the
That was such
cylinder
a terrible
one.
marketing line.
the most power now adorably all digital.
Whoever came up with that, they
Yeah,
should
that's
have
a
been
real-
let go. Like
That's
once
a
it
real
leaked
PowerPoint.
and the people found it, they'd be like, okay, you're no longer doing this.
Oh, that
Just
is
talk about
brutal.
like tell me like you've never like gamed or interacted
I know,
with
right?
gamers without telling me when you go the adorably all digital. Like nobody
paired up
liked
with the most
hearing that.
powerful part. You're talking to hardcore gamers who care about
Yeah.
teraflops and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That is. Does it have a USB-C? This has a USB-C on the front. I don't know if the next one does, and if that matters at all.
I don't think it does. I think it's just the USB-A.
Like, is it just a different like this was a pretty like there's a few bullet points that like really don't change the experience overall, but it's like the PSU is reduced, like the power supply is reduced by 15%.
I'm looking at it now. The all series, the all digital Series X and Robot White. It is literally a Series X but white and with no disk drive. It's just
Yeah.
blank.
Oh,
I
this
don't
was supposed
like
to be
that.
the same great price. It was supposed to be
Here's
2
what.
terabytes for same price.
Xbox has done so well with so many custom revisions
Yeah.
and alterations.
Mhm.
I love the One S. It's one of my favorite looking consoles ever.
Yeah.
There was a moment to do something like that with this, and they were like, "Nah, let's just throw a blank plate on it."
I know.
Yeah,
Doesn't even seem
Like-
real
like
to me. I can't believe it's real.
A USB-C port on the front instead of a USB-A would have been something. You did something to it.
That's what they planned. They planned
Yeah.
for it to be 2 terabytes and $4.99. Same price. They have a 2 terabyte version, but it's like $5.99 or $6.99
no,
or
it's
whatever.
like- yeah, it's like six. It's like I think it's $5.99.
That's crazy. So they had a plan for something a little bit different here.
Yeah, I know we talked about this during E3, but I thought their hardware like revision or reorg roadmap that they presented, I thought it was like I felt like it was really missing the mark for what they should be doing.
What about that controller that they had? They called it the Sebel, the pants one that you talked about.
Yeah,
the
I
one where
call
it
it
looks like it's wearing
the pants
pants.
controller. Here's
looks like
my thing about this. Since you've got it up, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the controller, or are they trying to present to you that the controller will come in white or black?
I think that's the controller.
That is the ugliest controller I've ever seen.
Ugliest thing, but so
I
is
don't
the
care
cylinder.
if it's the best controller. I don't care if it's the lowest latency. I don't care if it feels best old. I will never own that controller ever. Ever. I've never
It could
looked
bring
at a
like
controller that
all
I
this
thought
stuff to the table.
it could cure cancer, and I'm not buying that controller.
Oh, come on,
Dude. I've never looked at a controller and immediately hated it as much as that controller.
It's pretty bad.
I was like, what are they even thinking? Are you serious?
No,
it has pants.
People got paid a lot of money to come up with this stuff.
I don't get it.
And here's the thing. Adorably.
That cylinder Xbox wasn't a thing. I don't think that controller's a thing either. I think they'll repackage that some other way.
I mean, the biggest thing here is it's understated in the slide. It says direct to cloud. I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah, no, that technology is smart. Stadia does that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I would expect them to try and push that. That's good. I'd just rather have that in a regular controller.
Oh, it had rechargeable battery in here too. Rechargeable and swappable battery.
Yeah, which is what I've always had. Is that what you have?
No, I've got a I play wired almost exclusively.
I do too, but I in my actual controllers, I've got one right here. I have battery packs that fit in the battery, and I swap them out, and I have chargers, and I always have. I have for like a decade.
Yeah.
And every time an Xbox console has been released with batteries in the thing, we always talk about it. Somebody either asks a question, somebody brings it up. I'm like, why are we still acting like this is a problem?
I would always say the same thing too.
I had $9.99. You can get 2 rechargeable battery packs. You can
that's what I always had.
Bad boy, and you'll never worry about it ever again.
Yeah, I always ran.
Never understood it.
Dozens. I had so many rechargeable batteries, and eventually, like they just run out of life. So it's only recently that I switched to wired.
I would always prefer to have the option versus it being closed.
Sure. Yeah.
And I got to do open heart surgery to change the battery. Because to your point, all battery packs wear out eventually.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's.
But I'm actually using the same ones that I had during the Xbox One gen, and I still have no problems with them.
That's what I liked a lot. Like all the accessories like carried over. I'm pretty sure you can still use your Xbox One controller with the Series X.
Yeah, you can.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. I use my Gears Elite controller every now and again. Just when I'm feeling interested.
Yeah, nice, man.
It's such an excellent controller.
What a leak this was. I mean, it was huge at the time. I mean, that's kind of it.
And if nothing comes out of it, like what is it? It was all for naught, which is a part of gaming. Like that's just generally what we do. There's a lot of stories that are all for nothing.
I just wish I could see more of this stuff. Like to the Nintendo point of like they're working on VR. Like what is that? The Half-Life stuff. Like like somebody knows. Like some people, this is their life. Like they know it deeply, and we just kind of like get to
just walk around with those secrets.
Yeah.
Or they're like in the 4chan.
Yeah,
throwing shit out there. Nobody will ever remember it anyway.
Not the 4chan.
So,
oh, dude. Speaking of open heart surgery, I got to bust open my laptop because it was overheating, just doing nothing. It's just I would fire it up and fan is spinning and everything, and I was like,
did you have to clean it up?
I just cleaned it up. And I felt pretty good about it, Donnie. Honestly, I ordered just a little tube of thermal paste. I picked the whole thing out, wiped it clean, and I reassembled it. And forgot to attach the speakers to the motherboard. So I was like, oh, this is great. Everything works perfectly. I have no sound. Because
Did you put it all back together before you figured that out?
Not entirely, but there's a certain amount that you have to do to even just boot the thing back up again.
Yeah.
So you disassemble all again, and you just hope that you get everything. But I felt pretty good about it. Got my tiny little screwdriver out.
I had a very similar experience. I did run. We talked about this last Sweet Hangs. Last Sweet Hangs, we were talking about like, how do I get my PC over there to the television?
Right.
We were talking about like, oh man, maybe Xbox make a device. I could get like a ROG Ally or whatever. After that conversation, I spent like 2 hours on YouTube.
Like that day?
Looking at options. Yeah.
Like afterwards?
It was just on my brain. I was like, what are my options? I was looking at mini PCs. I was looking at HDMI transmitters. I was like, man, I could spend $300 and just beam that shit over there. And I was looking at all that, and then I came across this AV channel. Or no. I came across this church channel that did a video on how they set up their AV for their church that they broadcast on YouTube.
Yeah. Some of those churches, unreal.
The guy was like, what you're looking for is an optical HDMI cable, which I had no idea. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither.
I was like, what is that? And it's an HDMI cable that has optical whatever.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't like
speed of
bend it and
light.
stuff. And he was like, I've run 500 feet of cable and have no latency or loss over all the, because they run it all the way from their
Mhm.
camera, like all the way back to the booth. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And I went to Amazon, and of course, Amazon had one on sale. I bought 100 foot of HDMI optical cable for $30. I was like, oh, this is so easy.
I've never even heard of that. That is wild. I'm
So
searching on Amazon.
I have
right
a
now.
drop ceiling with tiles in it in my basement. So I ran here. I'll show it to you. You can see. So over here, do you see my skateboards?
Yeah.
See the cable?
Yeah.
I
Just
ran
below
this
the- yeah,
cable up behind that, up into the ceiling,
Yes.
and then I ran it all the way across the room. I moved all
Mhm.
the side.
Yes, you
I
did.
ran it into my closet, which
Yep.
is behind the television. I had the little wires come down. I had the little organizers, like the little things to keep it in place. I ran it down the door frame under the thing behind the television. I plugged it in, and it totally works.
Mhm.
I have a little switch here I can click over, and I can put you over there and bring you back at any moment that I
Oh,
want.
it's on a switch.
Oh yeah, I just
Even
just
better.
click it over. Boom.
Dang.
The only thing
Okay.
that I have noticed in playing, because I've played on it multiple times, at full 4K at like 60 frames, like on an intense game, it gets a little choppy. I'll lose a little
Yeah.
signal.
Yeah.
So if you jump, like I dropped it down to 1600, no problem. Drop down
Yeah.
1400, no problem. Drop down 1080, zero problem.
4K, people don't understand. Like we throw that term around. 4K is intense.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of data. Like it's a lot of detail information.
I thought it was just like, I was like, maybe it's the cable or anything. And I went on Reddit and was Googling it, and somebody was like, oh yeah, he's like 4K. He was like, if you're watching a movie, totally fine.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're playing Doom, I was playing Grand Theft Auto. He's like, if you're playing Doom, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
He's like, just drop it down a little.
Yeah.
And he said 1440, and I dropped it to, I play at 1600 on my monitor here often. So
Yeah.
I dropped it to 1600, and it totally went away. And I was like, oh, then I'll just leave it here.
That's a lot. Like the number of pixels, you just do the math on that. It's a lot less.
But instead
data
of buying a
information.
whole new machine, a whole new thing, and cloud say, I literally,
Yeah.
my PC is just hooked to both now.
I love the ceiling that you have too, though. Like our basement is finished, and we bought it this way, and there's a certain ease factor, convenience factor that we enjoyed when we moved in. But it was very shortly afterwards that I wish I had a ceiling like you, because you want to get up in there, you want to run cables in there, you want to be able to do all sorts of stuff. Like especially back in the day, like we used to have a surround sound back here, and like you can just run your speaker wire up there. We used to have like network cables, like at my parents' house. We like ran everything up in those ceilings, and it was great to be able to just like put the tile aside, run it down, and yeah, easy peasy. So
yeah,
we're gonna do that in the next place.
I rolled up I had about 30 feet left over, and I rolled it up, and I just left it up there.
Yeah, it's
And
perfect.
it does full sound and everything. And I've played I am playing the new Doom, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw any of that, but it's fucking kicking my ass. It's so hard.
Yeah. The new old Doom or Doom Eternal? Yeah,
there's a new,
like the 1 and 2
episode.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, the Legacy of Rust. And it's
Mhm.
dude, I clicked on a button the other day, and like 100 enemies spawned. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
It's all hard. Honest, I didn't go.
Oh,
Anytime Doom comes out
Sigil
for
was
a
pretty
thing,
difficult, but this is like way harder than Sigil.
Yeah. Well, again, like the first 2 levels of Doom, both of them are hard.
Yeah, I mean it's like kicking the teeth hard. But
Yeah.
I've been playing GTA 3, the definitive edition.
Nice.
And but what I was going to say, the anecdote I was going to tell you is that I've got this computer chair, and it's a computer chair, and I'm sitting here working one day, and I was like on a conference call or whatever, and I remember I was talking to Dev and Delvin, and I was like, dude, my fucking ass hurts. Like I'm just sitting here.
That's
for
how
like
I feel.
5 hours.
Yes.
And then it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to sit here anymore.
Yeah.
And I clicked over to the television. I picked up my wireless keyboard. I went and sat in my recliner and just worked.
Yeah.
I was just over there working. I
Mhm.
sent them a picture. They were like, that's the laziest thing I've ever seen.
No way. No, dude. I have a laptop over there, and a nice little like little tray thing and everything. I can sit in my recliner and work. You know,
It was very nice.
no matter
Very
if people
nice.
need to see me or not.
So now, yeah, I've been hopping back and forth on wherever I want to sit at the moment.
I was kind of hoping you'd tell me like you bought a new office chair and you'd have a recommendation for me.
I wish I did. My recommendation is not to buy an office chair. I don't think I've found an office chair that I really love.
Yeah.
I think what I want is I need like an armchair, like a small, like armchair, like a sofa seat or something, and like use that as a desk chair.
Yeah. Oh, like, these things suck. I'm always adjusting like it.
Yeah, the
And
problem
because
is finding an armchair that's like has the right height for the desk.
right, because yeah, the office chairs come with all these, customizing, like you can
Risers and
put this up and down and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And yeah, just an armchair is just an armchair. It is what it is.
Yep.
Oh man. Well,
Save the Game Media says, I wish all consoles were white. I'm the opposite.
it always goes back and forth. I felt like that. That was just funny. It was always so predictable. You'd have a black original Xbox and then the white 360 comes out. It's like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, Xbox One is black. Then the One
I think the
S comes
360
out
had
and it's
several black revisions.
sure. Well, that's just it too. Like even within that same console generation, you went back and forth and like, ooh, different.
Well,
It was just
rather
whatever the
fond-
new one was.
I've grown rather fond of my Series S in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Did you hear
I took
this
mine to my
project?
parents' house.
I traded down, got rid of my Series X,
Mhm.
hopped down to a Series S,
Yeah.
and I bought a bunch of skins for it off AliExpress.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5.
I never bought from there.
I wasn't sure which one I wanted. They're all super cheap. So about like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then while waiting on them to get here, I don't have it near me, but like I took a bunch of controllers apart and put together, like in my mind, like what the best like Series S controller would look like.
Yeah.
And I really like it. I was like, this controller actually looks kind of awesome.
What did you put? What, like you took
I'll
different
go
colored
get it.
buttons and stuff?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Oh snap, dude. Man. We just need more hours in the day as Donnie goes to get this. We just need more hours in the day to be able to like have the idea, sit down, do the thing, bring it to life. I mean, I guess we have enough time to do some of these things, but there's so many little projects, Donnie. to do. So
You know
was just
how I
gonna say
am
while
with
you're
like
away.
the aesthetics and like how I
Yes,
want
of course.
things to look, right? I'm very particular. So I had the Series S and I got the all white controller. I picked up one
Yeah.
on eBay, $145. Got Series S.
Yeah, pretty good.
So I got $410 for my Series X.
Oh wow,
So
that's pretty good.
I got the remainder of that just stashed away for games.
Yeah,
And more stuff. So I was looking at the white Series S controller. It's just all white, right? It's got the white start menu buttons. It's all white, and then it's got the color face buttons.
yeah,
And I was like, that's cool, but it's just kind of bland.
yeah.
You know, like I wanna zazz it up a bit. So I took my Fable controller because I no longer had my Fable
Oh.
Series X.
Yeah.
So I took my Fable controller, took it apart, and what I did is I mix matched the middle buttons.
Oh, cool.
Right, so they're
Yeah.
black. I
Yeah.
left the original face buttons, got the button, and then I did the black back.
I like that a lot.
Isn't it
Yeah.
very nice?
Yeah. See, that's how you do the white and black on the same
And
controller.
when you sit
you
it next to a Series S with the black grill, it's like
Mhm.
this is kind of like this is what it should look
what it
like.
should have been. That's
At least
they
in my
missed
head,
it.
I'm like these match.
Yeah.
Now these match.
Yeah. Why?
Um,
Yeah.
So the funny anecdote is I got all the skins, but because I
Mm.
did this to the controller, now I don't want to cover it up. Like now I'm kind of into the look.
Yeah.
So I just gave my skins to my son. I was like, well, you can do something with these, I guess.
What is he gonna do?
Use them.
Hilarious.
He used the Cyberpunk one. One of the skins that I got was, the 1X Cyberpunk edition.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
make skins of that design for the Series S, and you just make it
Yeah.
look the same. So he did that. He took that because he loves Cyberpunk. That's his thing.
And he plays with it, or is it for a shelf?
No, he put it on his. No, not on the controller, on the system.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's done the whole system that way. And I just didn't want to mess with the system now. Now I kind of wanted to stay. I wanted to keep
Mhm.
matching the controller.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the trade down. In the sense that like I'm not noticing much of a difference now.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not because there isn't a difference. There's a huge difference. It's because I'm not playing those games on console. I wasn't playing those games on console.
Yeah.
I played Hellblade on PC. I'll
Mhm.
play Doom Dark Ages on PC. I'll be playing those games on PC.
Yeah.
The games that I'm playing on console are EA College Football,
Yeah.
indie games. I tried the Kimitsugami game. I tried that. the
Oh,
other
did
day.
you? The
I'm
Capcom
playing
game is
Gears
that?
2 lately. That's what I've been playing.
Oh man, I'm playing Space right now. I'm about
Yes.
maybe 3 or 4 chapters into this thing.
Yes.
And this is just PC gaming at its best. I had to. It would launch automatically full screen on my ultra wide, and the game is
Mhm.
absolutely not made for like this ultra wide screen.
Yeah.
So it was all stretched even when it was playing at like 32 by 9. And so I had to look up how can I launch a game into like force it into Windows mode. And sometimes you can press like Alt Enter and it'll pop whatever you are into Windows. And it wasn't
Did you
working
put, like,
here.
the dash W and the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned all that. So this is all the old hat for most PC players, I'm sure. But I was like, it isn't working. I wanted it to look right. I want to be able to appreciate this game for what it is and not have it
New
ruined
monitor.
by this thing. Yeah, just Donnie, it's so funny. You're like in my head because
you're like, this is gonna work. New
well,
monitor.
it's two things in the same week. It's between like and it's 2011 Space Marine that has me thinking this, as well as I was playing Fortnite of all things on stream last night and playing Fortnite in
The idea
Windows.
of being like just looking at it and being like, nope, going to the store for Space
Gotta get a new
Marine.
monitor. Well, so
2009 Space Marine.
it gets worse. It gets worse. Well, number one, I actually have some leftover just 1080p monitors in the in the other room that I used to have when I replaced it with this ultra wide. But I don't have enough space for another screen on this desk. Like this screen takes up the entire width of the
Yeah, I've
desk.
seen it before.
So I think I need another desk.
Oh,
It's kind of like that. Like this is where
it just keeps unraveling.
it went from like 49
Jill's
inch.
gonna come home. You're gonna be in the drywall. You're like,
Dude,
don't worry about it, babe. I got it.
Just like digging holes. Just like got a jackhammer. Just we're changing the foundation, man. Like while we're swapping out this hot water tank, like I gotta do this whole thing.
You might as well.
Well, and we might have to move houses. Like that's kind of like the other like this. When it rains, it pours. When we like this
That's
is why I
hilarious.
stop myself from doing so many things because I know as soon as I get rolling a little bit, it's like
I
okay,
love
we're
it.
moving. We're
This
moving
is
25 minutes out into
This
the
is
country.
way my energy. I absolutely love it.
I
do this stuff all the time.
It's very possible that we might be moving. Not for this reason. It's
Oh, wow.
it's separate, but it's like I was thinking about it on the way home before we started here. I was like, man, okay, if we're actually moving and maybe I just like redesign an entire office space so that I can have still want to have my ultra wide. And a lot of people have asked me like, why don't you just throw like a monitor on top, like just have another arm or whatever and just kind of mount it up top there. I'm just like,
up there.
dude, like I don't want to be playing games like looking up like this. Like Bobby used to do that. Actually, you can go back and look at Bobby's streams, and he had
Didn't he have the
monitors
riser
stacked.
where like it would stand up and come down?
His desk would, but he also
Yeah.
had like monitors like stacked on top of each other,
Wow.
and so he would play like when you watch him play, like on stream, he'd be looking up like this, and his neck just
I
like
vaguely
looked.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that I don't want that.
He'd be
I don't
like,
want that.
looking
So
up.
I'll have to have some sort of like L shape kind of desk. Like I'm gonna have to have some sort of like this will be my main thing, and then I'll have like a side
side piece.
screen over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a side piece. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've
yeah.
got.
I mean, honestly, part of me has thought of I could mount a screen or two to the wall over here. I would just have to get rid of this if we were staying here. I'd get rid of my my whiteboard.
Sure.
I could just have screens on the wall here.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's gonna look good. I want it to look good too. I don't want to
It's
just
fine.
like throw it up there. I want
think
it to
it'd be
look
fun.
nice.
I think you totally do that. And you just spin your chair and you could like switch scenes.
Right.
And just have that camera facing you from the
I
other
thought about
direction.
that too. Well, and then, dude, like this,
then you
I
have a
actually need a new
backdrop.
room. This room is very small. Exactly.
Yeah, then you have a new backdrop.
But the backdrop, like if I'm facing a computer this way, what's behind me this way is my clothes. Like my whole closet is right there. So I'm like, do I have like this curtain of a green screen that could just like swing around, kind of like in a like a hospital
Or they
room?
make they make those green screens that like attach to your chair, so you could like pull a pin and be like,
Oh yeah.
"Poof,"
Mitch
up
used to
behind
have
you.
one of those. I think Mitch had a blue one of those things. Yeah. So that's kind of, I'm just like, we're in dreamland right now, dude. Like just give me a space and yeah, let's whatever's next. But I haven't been in this kind of mode in a long time because I've been so satisfied with this monitor.
Sure.
But I think I need a dedicated, like just a single screen because there's a lot of complications that come with having an ultra wide monitor. I can't have anything in full screen mode and stream it. Because full screen is whatever this is, 52:9 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So you can't put that into like an OBS canvas and stream it because it looks all stretched or whatever. So it's better to have. I might be overcomplicating it. But when I was playing Fortnite, apparently the game doesn't run well when you have it in windowed mode because it was running at a different like frame rate or something.
That's
and
weird.
somebody was like, just throw it into like it was running better at full screen, 52 by 9, whatever the resolution is for this thing, then it would at 720p at 30 frames per second, just in a little window, tiny little window. It ran like garbage. And then I blew it up to the beautiful entire full screen thing, and it worked perfectly. 60 frames, easy. And it's like, I wonder how often that's going to happen when I play a game in windowed mode, because it doesn't fit the full size of the screen. I think that's weird.
Yeah, that is
So-
weird. You'd think they'd offer you like a partition or something where you could like manually force on the screen and like turn off
Yeah.
pieces of it.
So that's the okay. So that reminds me. That's what I actually have to try immediately, because I'm not moving tomorrow. But you can
I think
have
some
multiple
ultrawides
inputs in
have
the-
the ability. Yeah, you can turn off pieces of the screen. So you can
Well,
kinda
only
force
like
that
a-
behavior.
it's meant to be like a picture-in-picture mode. So you have like the way I actually do use it sometimes is when I'm playing console games on this thing, then I actually have to change one of the inputs on half of the monitor to show me my Xbox, and the left-hand side of the screen to show me my PC.
So it's like a
and
dual
that's-
zone.
It's a dual input.
Yeah.
So you can switch the inputs. There's actually 3, I think. So that's what I'm going to do probably tonight, is just throw up another HDMI into the screen. So I actually have 2 PC video signals going up into the same monitor, and
Sure.
we'll see how that works.
Maybe,
So-
maybe it'll get it done. I don't
It
know.
might.
I
Yeah, it might
had
be
an
as simple as
ultrawide
that.
for a
Or I
moment.
could move, Donnie. I could get a bigger house with bigger
Bigger house.
rooms.
I mean, that's the plan.
Exactly.
I
Tear
had
this
an
place down.
ultrawide. I think I had the same one that like Kevin and Jason may got.
Yeah.
It was like kind of the rage for a moment. It was years ago, but there was like one floating around. It was like a curved ultra, like, and
Yeah.
I
That's what
never
I have.
liked it. None of the games ever looked right on it for me. I was like, I remember the straw that broke the back for me was like, I played Far Cry. I was like, I was trying to play Far Cry 5 on it. And
Yeah.
the moment it booted up, I was like, that's not it.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I've seen what this
Yeah.
is supposed to look like. I've played
Yeah.
100 hours of this. This isn't it.
Yeah. Well, you have the
Mhm.
TV, so I guess there's that. Like you have a giant screen, so that's good. Yeah.
42
Mine's just
inches.
shorter. Like this is big. Like there's no doubt about it. It's
I have a triple setup at work, the 3 screens.
yeah.
Sometimes I like it. I have gotten really used to like, daily driving this TV as a monitor.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just requires a little more sizing and dragging and things.
Yep.
The thing that I do most about the monitor is because it's so tall, all of my
Mhm.
windows sit at the top of the screen, and I honestly very rarely use the bottom of the screen much.
Right. That's
Yeah.
why I like this, like, because it's not tall at all. It's still wide.
Yeah.
It's 49 inches diagonally across.
skinny.
Like it's pretty wide.
Yeah, so I've
Um,
got you in a window here, and then I have like another like 20% of the screen beneath you that's just
Yeah.
wallpaper and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I am multitasking, like that's where I'll drag and drop like little widgets and calculator and things like that. Have a little YouTube video playing in the background and kind of just throw things
Yeah.
around. I like the real estate.
It's nice to have, yeah. And it's funny because like I grew up with Windows where everything had to be like maximized. I never understood why people would ever have like a window on their screen not maximized, like not taking up the full amount of the screen.
Sure.
And I always felt like Macs were different. I felt like Macs were more creative people, and they would kind of like flip in between. They would multitask a little
Yeah.
bit more. It always seemed
I
like
do think that's
they would have
true.
like windows kind of tiled a little bit. But that's exactly what I do now. Like I've
Yeah, that's what I
got
do.
you here, I've got Epic Store open for whatever reason, and then just behind
got
that
you
is
One for
Wavelink and all this
Notepad.
stuff.
I've got
Yeah.
Twitter left over from when I was watching the Olympics earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same.
Well, I might have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but all of a sudden I'm supremely dissatisfied with this setup that I've been perfectly fine
I think
with
Rob
for a long
3000
time.
has the ultra wide with the TV on top thing. I think that's his
On
thing.
top. Wow.
Yeah, he's got the TV on top that's like angled down,
Yeah.
and then he's got the monitor set up below.
I think because I got this standing desk at the start of COVID because we all started working from home and I lost my mind and I just needed to be able to switch up a little bit because I would work during the day and then I would stream or podcast at night and I wasn't doing so well with that. So the stand-up desk like somehow made it kind of
That's the
doable
best
for me.
thing about switching.
Yeah.
Being able to switch is that I can work here,
Yes.
and then when I want to play a game, I don't have to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so when I bought the desk, I didn't even realize
like
that
a
there was
king.
different sizes. You do, but I want a
I'm
bigger
sitting
one.
over there, flipping over there, walking over, just picking up my controller, keep playing. I'm like, this feels like it should have been a lot more than $30. Like this is like why doesn't everybody do this?
But that's why we get so like wrapped into like there's an idea here, there's a solution that can be made because like
Yeah.
when you figure it out, I was talking. This is actually about like this is the same thing about PC building. You're like, there's a little puzzle here. Like there's something here I can optimize, and then you figure it out, and it feels great. It feels very personal to you.
Because in my head, I was like, I don't, because you remember the root of that conversation. We're talking about the future plans for Xbox. We talk about there's been a lot of said about this PC bridge and everything. I was like, I have zero need for that now.
Yeah.
I have a Switch that does that. Like,
no, they took too long.
And it's like I feel the same way with like the ROG Ally and like a portable. Like, I don't need any of those either.
Yeah, man.
Because like I literally can just play everything on my PC right here.
So good. So you send the video signal and everything over to your TV. What you have your wireless mouse and keyboard and a wireless
I have my
controller?
wireless mouse and keyboard. I have had issues with the wireless controller.
Yeah, a little far.
It's not that it's far. It's not that far at all. Here, I'll give you the other angle.
So I'm always surprised that
this is what you're looking at.
Yes, yeah, it's a room. Like,
so it's right there. It's not too far.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the issue that I've discovered having done this. When I'm over there, so I'm gonna just like face you, right?
Yeah.
So you're the television. When I'm over there playing like this, I've noticed that like my controller inputs are like missing or lagging or not being registered. Literally, without moving the location of the controller, if I just point it at the computer, it goes away.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I have a wired controller that's got plenty of slack.
Yeah.
And I just plug it in and sit over there with my wired controller.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
I was thinking about it because I have an Xbox wireless adapter, like the wireless signal, not Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Like for the old controllers.
Yeah.
I thought about plugging. I was like, I bet if I plugged that in, I was like, I bet it would go away.
I bet it would too. Yeah.
But I didn't because I have a wired controller. I just plugged it in. I was like, well, that fixed it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, I think I could find a way around. Like I even thought to myself, I was like, you know what I could do is I could get like a USB cable on that wireless adapter and I could run it up the thing and I could hang it like in the tile right above me. Like
that's a great idea. You should absolutely do that
because I have already done it. I'm like, oh, I could easily just do that.
Yes.
But when I walked over, because I have like these little cabinets around.
Yeah.
Right? Those are full of like gaming shit, cables, wires, stuff, controllers. So I walked over there and I have a wired controller. It's an Xbox controller. It's like, it's purple. My sister-in-law got me for Christmas or 1 year or whatever.
Yeah.
It has like a forever cable. I have no idea how long it is, but it feels like it's like 30 or 50. It's long.
Yeah.
Like it's always wrapped up. Like I have to wrap it. It's so long. And I just plugged it in and I was like, oh, well, I guess that fixes it. That's why I don't, I kind of lazy then. It's like, well, it's not really a problem.
You already have the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Just
Did you think that? I was like, I totally could just get like a 20-foot USB cable and I'll just follow the same path I already ran and just move the tile a little over and just stick out a little adapter.
Dude, it's like the most advanced version of like putting tinfoil on your rabbit ears on your old TV kind of thing. It's much
like
better.
I'm like building like the ultimate lazy. Delvin, I think Delvin put it best. He was like, he's working really hard to be lazier.
Hell yeah, man. That is
exactly it.
Yes, sir.
It's like I'm engineering, like it's like an episode of The Simpsons. There's like I'm definitely homering around here. Like I'm
definitely. You got your drawings out and like you're measuring stuff, and it's like because I don't want to move. Like it's genius, and people need to hear. This is the thing. People need to hear this. People need to know this is how you can. You don't have to live the way you live.
Here's the funny thing that I thought of while I was doing all this is I was thinking of, because it happened after our last episode. I think on that same episode, you were like, I don't understand why you're not into building PCs. Like you're all into here. I am like moving tiles.
Exactly. You would like it.
Buttons and controllers. But the moment somebody's like, yeah, just put in a hard drive. I'm like, oh no, never mind.
No, that's the thing. Like, but it's daunting to get into. There's a lot to learn. There's lots that can go wrong. But like, you are built for that kind of thing. Like
I think it might be one of those things where if I got into it, that would be it.
Definitely.
And I think maybe that's the hesitation that's always stopped me.
It's always just one little thing. Like for me, again, like learning that my old PC, it's not hundreds of years old, but PC that ended up being Chelsea's had NVMe slots on the motherboard. I was like, oh, okay, let's just pop that open and give her that nice little upgrade. Like I love stuff like that.
Funny thing, I've been in and out of every console I've owned.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know what?
I've replaced switch batteries. I've
Yes.
done repairs.
You know your way around.
I've completely disassembled every kind of controller.
Do you understand like when
GameCube
most people
controllers,
open those up,
DualSense controllers. You know how hard it is to replace? Not hard, but I'll say hard.
you have to be
I
careful.
don't think most people would replace Xbox controller faceplates.
Definitely.
They don't
I
just
agree.
pop off.
Right.
You have to take all the screws out to like it's
Yep.
a lot just to change the faceplates.
Exactly.
I've changed faceplates on my controllers a dozen times.
That's what I mean,
like,
man. Like
you know,
fast
I'm
forward
always
10
a-
years.
For me,
Donnie's
that
building
is it. Like it is the aesthetic part. Once you get me to it's like, ooh, but can I customize it, make it look more like the way I want it? And then I'm all in. Then I kind of get lost.
PC building, dude. Like they got different
I know.
colors. They got like brown fans now, dude. They got all sorts of weird
Wow.
stuff. Like different colors.
I like
This
that
is the thing
PC.
though. I'm building mostly a white PC, and
it's
Rob 3000 pointed out maybe it's white and black. But GPUs, graphics cards that are white are like twice as expensive.
Really?
And it's like, oh, they're
Oh,
crazy.
that's racist.
It's... Come on, Nvidia, you know better than that. Could be the same. But yeah, they're so there's like a 4080. It's gorgeous. It's white and it's like $2,000. Like this is that's kind of bonkers.
You know how it is, man. Like all of my stuff is all like it's just I know
Yeah,
my
look at that.
heroes, Like I'm
See?
doing this stuff all the time.
Just do it on a $3,000 computer build.
Yeah, it's that. It's the whole. I gotta, get into the BIOS and boot from the hard drive. I'm like, I don't want to do it. That's the stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I
well,
don't
that's
want
the
to
end.
do all of that.
That's the end. And by that time, like you're so committed, like that's not even a big deal anymore.
Mm.
That's at the end. You got to put it all together, and it's like, oh, look how this looks, and this is all great. I even, dude, the other day, I pulled apart every
I'd
single.
rather just buy it that way.
I guess. I mean, honestly, I haven't started building it yet. I'm just collecting the components. I might be saying the exact same thing to you.
That.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I've said it for
like
years.
it.
Like if I ever got down that path, I think I would just send a box of shit to Dev and be like, dude, knock yourself out.
But you know what it is? Because when I was deconstructing my laptop, like I was doing it. I was actually hanging out with at my parents' house. Because I needed to see if my dad had a smaller screwdriver than I had. And it turns out he didn't. I ended up doing it with my own, and that was all good. But I had my laptop open, and I realized, and you're probably like this with when you open up a controller or anything else, like nobody knows what they're looking at in there. Like you pop this thing open, and it's kind of interesting. It's like me with a car. If I look under the hood, I'm like, I know very little. Like I know just enough to do some damage. But like most people like open things up that they're very familiar with, and they don't know anything about what's inside there.
Sure.
And I think that's fascinating because it's like I can actually look in there and go, okay, well that's the Wi-Fi adapter, and that's the hard drive, and that's the computer. Like that's the RAM stick.
I do feel that way about cars.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not like a car guy.
right.
But like
same.
I have gotten to the point where I know like that's the intake, that's the power steering,
Yep.
that's the master cylinder, that's the firewall, that's like I can identify most things. Like I just changed the purge valve on my daughter's car because we were getting evap issue. You know, so I can start to like identify, that's the heads, those are the cylinders, it's the block, like I got the thing.
Yeah. And there's something about like when you understand something, you want to be in that a little bit. Like because there's maybe there's just so much that I don't understand about this world. It's like, oh, I get this. Makes me enjoy it.
You know what got me started on the little bit of stuff that I've done
with cars?
Joy-Con controllers.
Oh yeah, totally.
I've swapped not a bunch because I actually haven't had as many drift issues as I think has been like widely believed with those.
Yeah,
but I've swapped like 4 Joy-Con sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got into it, it's like the knee deep of the switch years when everybody's going on and on about how the Joy-Con controller sucks so bad. And I was like, how hard is it to switch? Like though, like how hard is it? Not that you should have to, but like, okay, everybody doesn't like it. How hard is it? And I had one. I had one Joy-Con that didn't even have drift. Like it kind of broke. It was kind of crunchy, like when you rolled it. And I was like, this is just kind of busted. I think Jack or something, you got stepped on or somebody like squeezed it too hard.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I'm just going to try to change it and taking one of those apart because that is a dense little bugger. Have you ever been in those?
No.
Once you lift the screws on it, like all kinds of shit, like it's kind of compacted, like it's all pressed together.
Yeah.
So you lift it up and it all starts to like unravel. But that's not nearly as hard as I ever imagined it would be. Swapping
Yeah.
a stick module out is actually pretty easy. I got to the point where I could pop one of those in and out in like 15 minutes.
So
And
funny
then-
because we're flipped on this. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, that's where it got started. I remember I had my first DualSense controller. I wanted to change, I forget what I think I changed the face buttons on it. I wanted to
Mhm.
change all the face buttons on like the mouse pad. And that's a thing. Like when you start taking that thing apart, it really comes apart.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever done it. I don't think I've ever done any of this without the Joy-Con. The Joy-Con was like the gateway.
How the heck did they even build it that way? That like that it's just like it's like somebody just holding it just into place, and then somebody else
Yeah.
comes in and screws it down, and it's
You
just
know,
like,
you
and
can
it's in.
fix- The crazy thing is you can fix most Joy-Cons to have drift if you don't want to swap the stick with like a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
You just got to add a little pressure to that back plate
Yeah.
and then like squeeze it back together and right as
funny.
new.
Just like you throw a towel around a 360 with the red rings of death.
Yeah, and those
Brings
sticks are
back to
like
life.
the Joy-Con sticks are super cheap.
Yeah.
That's why they use them.
And I
You
should
can
do
buy
that.
like 10 sticks on Amazon for like $13.
Yeah, it makes it like new.
So I felt like I was everybody's enemy because everybody was like, this is broken and Nintendo needs to fix it. I'm like, literally, you can fix this yourself in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
well,
have
this
to,
is-
but like if you're really that angry about it, like do something about it.
Yeah, these are dad moments for us to live. It's like, okay, well, maybe we should learn how to repair some of our
But here's
shit.
the thing. I felt like this used to be a part of gaming.
Sure.
When I came up, people fixed stuff. Like they fixed their own controllers. They
Hey,
fixed
blue in the cartridge.
console. Like no, I mean, but I remember like people would take an NES, they take the top off, they'd clean it like it was a thing,
yeah.
you know. And it's like it's somewhere along the way, it's like, oh no, it's supposed to work great forever,
It went mainstream.
or you need to give me another one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, or you could fix it.
Well,
You know?
it's funny you should say that because, well, I have two issues with my Joy-Cons generally. One, the range seems to be very, very short. It seems like if I'm any distance at all away from the console, it seems like they just stop working.
Does it stop if you like wrap your hand around it in a certain way or something?
I could check other different ways, and
Yeah.
maybe that's, who knows. And then yeah, the drift as well, which I think I'm capable of fixing as well. And the flip side of this, like this is where you and I are kind of on opposite ends of this, but the same issue is my laptop. I heard that thing, like the jet engines, the fan, like it sounded like a PS4, just like it was brutal.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was awful, and it was
That
so I ended up
PS4 is
getting like
something
those.
serious, man.
It was intense, and I wasn't doing anything. Like I didn't even open like a web browser or anything. I just fired it up, and it's just like just maximum fan. And I got those like there's some software you can get to see like what temperatures you're running, and it was running at like 83 degrees Celsius. Like this thing is like damn near maxed out, as if I
Yes,
was
sounds-
running a game, and it's just, and it got to the point where I couldn't even touch my laptop, and so same kind of idea with the Joy-Con drift where you go like it's a $10 part to fix this thing. It was a $10 tube of thermal paste, and I just like I popped that thing open, took off the CPU, cleaned it with some isopropyl alcohol, and like reapplied the tiniest little dot of thermal paste, and it cut the temperatures down more than in half. Like we're down
Wow.
to like 40
Love it.
degrees instead of 83, and it's just like that was simple. And
So
so
you remember the
I should do
time-
that with the Joy-Cons. I should
At
just
the-
do that with the
At
Joy-Cons.
the height of the Joy-Con, everybody's tweeting and making videos about how terrible they are. I'm like, if you have this much energy and anger about this,
Right, you could
like
you'd be done.
you should just fix it. You should have
You
it
would be
fixed by
done.
now. And that was like, and
But I was
hated
one of
it
those people yelling about that. I'm
'cause
like,
I
this
didn't
sucks.
want to feel like I was holding water for Nintendo because that wasn't the intent. I've always said you shouldn't have to. Like I'm with you. You shouldn't
Yeah.
have to do this.
Yeah, but here we are.
But if you're this angry about it,
Mhm.
you know, like you could just do it. I did
Totally.
it. Brand new Joy-Con, no problem. Like that's why you haven't heard me bitch about it because my
Yep.
Joy-Cons are fixed.
Well, honestly, though,
Because I fixed
dude, like
them.
in another life, or maybe previous, like a couple of years ago, I don't know, I would have replaced my laptop. And God knows how many laptops have been replaced, or how many computers or devices have
it's
been
on the
replaced
list.
because like
Just get another
the
one.
fans are going fast.
Yeah.
And it's like that was the easiest fix. It's like it makes me wonder
Take
about
the
like maybe
case
I
off,
should
just
just like
blow it
popped
out a
open a
little.
PlayStation. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like it's just thermal paste. That was it. And like blow out some
Yeah,
of the
that
dust.
is not the case with the PS4 though. That thing is a
You
monster.
think?
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah.
The
like,
PS4,
just-
the base and the Pro are loud. Those fans are.
I know they were loud. Well, they're
They're
loud because
blowers, man. They turn on. It's like a little mini blower.
they're loud because the temperature
The
gets so hot.
Slim
The cooling
the
is
hot
not
spot.
happening.
The Slim
Sure.
is the Goldilocks. You want
Yeah.
the Slim
Yeah.
where it's not so loud. It's kind of quiet. It plays games, as well as the other ones.
Yeah.
But that Pro, that I think it was the Last of Us model, because I had the Slim for years.
Yeah.
And I got the Last of Us model and turned it on, and we were doing something. It kicked on. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, man.
Like I started
had
looking
every
around,
model
asking
PS4.
people, I was like, "What is that noise?"
I had every one of them. I had my first one was the white Destiny model, which
That's a
going back
great
to
model.
I loved it. I
That's
thought that thing was
that's a great
incredible.
console.
It was about
Yeah.
a year after the console came out.
That's one of the best ones.
I think
of the
so.
whole- it's one of the best ones.
Yeah, that was but it
gorgeous.
was the Pro. I think I traded in to get the Pro with the Spider-Man edition.
That's gonna be most
Pro.
people's favorite.
Yeah, it was pretty. Well, it's
I don't
just like,
mind, but I don't like. I generally refrain from the glossy.
yes,
PlayStation's glossy plastics are terrible. Like
Yep,
they're
I
all
agree.
bad. They're all
Yep.
bad.
yeah.
So that's a killer for me almost from the get go. I'm like, nope.
I have a lot of nostalgia for that PS4, man. That was a great console, I think.
So
think it was
I
a great
love the
console.
the base model, the
Yep.
Edge, like the little Edge.
Yes.
The reason I love it, of course, as anybody's ever listened to me, faceplates. I
Yeah.
had like 10 of them. I
Yeah.
loved them. I had the Symbols faceplate. I had the Order faceplate. I had the Little Big Planet
The
faceplate.
Order.
I
Nice.
had color faceplates. I had the translucent face. I am such a sucker for being able to do this shit to
Yeah.
my stuff. They should make a
Yep.
PC with faceplates. I would 100% own that PC.
I'm like looking around my room, going like, "What else could you faceplate?" Like
yeah, I mean
anything.
the 3DS. The moment that
Yeah,
3DS
man.
became available with swappable faceplates, it was over. I was like, well,
Yeah.
there goes my favorite, maybe my favorite themed console of all time. I had the Majora's Mask Golden 3DS that you sold.
Yeah. So
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I hate that game. It's my
Yeah.
least favorite Zelda,
good looking
and I
console.
adored that console. That console was
Mhm.
gorgeous, and
I
it went
have-
right out the window when they were like, "You can change faceplates." I was like, "Well, there you go."
Yeah, that's
Time to go.
hilarious. Your favorite thing, and it's the meme. It's
And you're
the
done.
cheating boyfriend
Obsolete.
meme. Yeah, just like looking at the next girl. Oh, I have 2 3DSs still in their box that
Yeah.
I don't know. I had the Mario 2 was new Super Mario Bros.
That
2.
one is one of my least favorites.
So this is probably the last that can go. The other
Is
one
that
is
the
the
one
Yoshi
with like
one.
the checker? It's like the
Um,
etching, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's got like
Yes,
the
it is.
grid.
I got
Yeah,
stuff on top of that. I don't want to take the amiibo off of that. But there's that, and then there's the one that I got for Chelsea for a wedding gift, which was a Yoshi 3DS.
That's one of my favorites. I have the Yoshi faceplates for my 3DS that match that. That's like
Yeah,
trying to
it's
rip
very
off the same
plain,
thing.
actually. Just
Yeah,
green.
but it's minimal. Oh wait, hang
Yep.
on. Maybe I'm not remembering it right. Show
This
it to
one I
me?
think I can grab. Hang on a second. Yeah,
Because
this
it's got
is
the egg
super
on it,
basic.
right?
What?
It's got the egg on it, right?
Yep, just a little.
Yeah. I love it. It's minimalist. I like
Yeah,
that.
this one sells for like $1,400 on eBay.
No
this one-
way. Are you
This
serious?
thing is worth a bunch.
Sell that
man.
motherfucker. Give Chelsea the cash.
So I
Like,
think
just
that's
be like, hey, babe,
that's
like
what-
here's
that's
your
what
wedding present. Like, have fun.
that's what she said actually.
I mean, yeah, I would sell that. She would much rather have like a bag or something. Like, don't
A bag.
like $1,400 for a 3DS is insane
That's
money.
pretty nuts.
You better
It's
get
pretty
that while
crazy.
you can, dude.
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
That won't be there forever.
well, and maybe it's not even there now. Like, people will check this and go, like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I
$1,400?
definitely have seen this.
1,400? That's
Yoshi.
a transmission for a little game card thing. Like, that's crazy.
Yoshi Edition 3DS. In Australia, it sold for $524. I definitely saw one for like yeah. Here's one for $1,000. Yeah, it's nuts, man.
I know we've done
So-
this, but
What are you searching for over there?
I'm getting into my Yoshi stuff.
Let's see.
So my 3DS, which I haven't turned on in a while, actually. I've been rocking the just the Mario, the Toad.
I love that one. Yeah,
It's great, right? Classic.
I want to see new. It has to be new in the box. I'm getting all these things that are like out of the box. Even out of the box, they're selling for $500.
I don't know what I don't know what happened. The 3DS was around. It was ubiquitous. Everybody had one.
Yeah,
It was like cheap as could be, and then the moment they started making Switches, they exploded
yeah, man.
in value.
Yeah,
You would think after they sold 80 million 3DSs that like if you wanted one, there'd be one to get. But I don't know.
Mhm.
It's like people really started snatching them up for some reason.
Oh,
It's like they all got thrown away. It's like they all just disappeared or something. Like, how did they explode in value so fast?
Well, now I'm looking, like looking at these 3DSs and going like, man, some of these might have been resold. These might have been mine. That some people have resold for probably more. Oh my
You
god!
almost, when we did this last time and we really got into it, and I don't remember what episode it was. You had me to the point where I was thinking of getting a Majora's 3DS XL. And
Those
the thing
are
that's
so expensive.
the thing that stopped me, even though I do think it might be my favorite like special edition console. The thing that stopped me was I would have to mod it and everything all over again. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna do all that again. But this
There's
is the Yoshi. Here's the Yoshi that I've got.
Oh, that's nice. I'd actually prefer that
So
on the new 3DS.
I love this model. Like this, like I am this way. Maybe like how everybody is with their 3DSs, they're trying to collect them all. I honestly don't think I could ever get rid of my 3DS. I can't imagine like not having it.
Well, that's just it. I'm gonna end up, no matter what happens, my Link Between Worlds 3DS, I will always have that one. Probably my first one as well, the blue one. It's just a plain blue XL.
Yeah, I had the red one. I went red.
Yeah.
So you went blue. I went red.
I want to say it was a gift. I think Chelsea might have got that one for me.
Yeah,
But I
think
like blue.
these are-
I
these are
like
still-
blue.
This one's still in the wrapping.
Oh, is that Fire Emblem?
Yeah, it's the Fire Emblem. The faceplates that they made for Fates.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, the reason I bring it up is I had been selling all of this stuff, and I actually just sold. I just shipped it earlier today. A Monster Hunter Stories amiibo. I sold it for like $140 or something like that. And so with that,
Wow.
Chelsea and I just yesterday we celebrated. We're now officially debt free, other than our house.
Dude, that's incredible. Wow.
We have no credit card debt. We have no line of credit. We have no car debt. Nothing. And so it's all been a journey. And a huge part of it is just selling all my stuff. Honestly,
But now
so
you have no
that-
stuff though.
dude, I have a pile of stuff. Like like people look at my shelf and go like it doesn't look any different. And I have a pile of stuff that I've taken off of the shelf, ready to even more ready to sell. So it's like I don't need all this stuff. So now it's like, but now that we're debt free, it's like, do I need to keep doing this? I don't know. And not buying games also been very helpful. Like
I bet that saved a shit ton because
yeah, man,
dude,
like
the dude is a big reason why I traded down to my Series S. I'm trying to finance buying more games that I want to buy.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean,
like, shit, I'm like
yep.
running out of money, man. I need to
Mhm.
buy more games.
Space Marine 2 is coming out. When the hell? What date is this?
I
And now
already bought
Game
that one. I
Informers.
pre-ordered that some time ago.
Did you?
I got it
On PC? You're getting on
and I got it
PC?
I got it on Green Man Gaming. I think I got it for 50 or 45.
Did
There's
you
a pre-order
really?
offer? Yeah, it's cheap. There's
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Basilisk.
make a decision. Look at those. I'm gonna have to make a decision on that because I got a bunch of like Xbox cash for my birthday. Neighbor Matt gave me $100 for my birthday of like Xbox dollars. Like,
That's awesome.
but I don't know if I want to buy Space. So the one game that I actually have to buy this year is Space Marine 2
I
because
forgot
of the
all
Royal
about that.
Rumble.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I literally
Uh,
forgot all about that until you just said it.
Oh well, that's why I bring it up. So it's
Yeah.
coming out soon. But now Game Informer's website is down. It's dead and forever. And I used to look at that for the game releases
Yeah.
all the time.
I
I don't know
completely
when
forgot. These are fake. These are some Temu things that I bought. I got these for
Mm.
$5 each. Zelda faceplates for the 3DS.
And they're just how do they even make those? Like how
These
do you
aren't
make fake
OEM.
ones?
They just made them.
Yeah.
And here's the cool thing. I got them in both white and black.
And you just have them. You just have them
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
I
Well, I
love
mean,
that.
it's like whenever I'm playing my 3DS or start carrying it, I just like swap the faceplates to
Mm.
match whatever mood I'm in, or sometimes I just do it just to do it.
Oh, this
Like, I
comes
just
out
wanna
on
change it
September
up a little bit.
9th. Space Marine is
Oh,
out.
dude, games are about to
September-
be upon us. Like we're about to be in it.
I'm
So-
gonna be off that week actually.
That's
I'm
killer.
gonna be unemployed that week.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna start
So
a
did
new
you pull the
job on the
trigger?
16th. Mm-hmm.
Good for you, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome. I
thank
didn't know
you.
you actually did. I remember we talked about it.
Technically, it's
didn't
not very
know that you
public, but
actually did it.
here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, the rest of my team will find out on Monday, I think. So
Wow.
Yeah, what day was that?
It's a
Wednesday, I think.
That's a big thing. Big move.
The big move. Yeah, I had to give a month's notice, so gearing
You
up for
had
that.
to? You didn't have to.
It's literally in our employment contracts, which I don't think
Wow.
is a thing, but yeah, which is, there's things like that kind of all
It
around
could
that.
be worse. That's not too bad.
Whatever. So, but it doesn't, to me, it is just my own take on it. Like, I just don't think it does anybody any good. Like, it's better to just like be done with it,
I've
Just
kind
get-
of felt that I've always felt that way about notices. Like the whole
Yeah.
like we'll give 2 weeks notice. It's like why? Why
Yeah,
do you need,
just
if you fired me, you wouldn't give me 2 weeks notice.
that's the thing that always strikes me as being a little bit unbalanced. So, yeah, Yarden in the chat, it feels all of it feels good.
I can tell
feels-
you from the government side, you come in usually these days and say, "Hey, here's my 2 weeks notice." They'll tell you, "Thanks, we appreciate it, but you can go today."
Yeah.
That's generally what they'll do. They're
Yep.
not going to actually honor that unless they actually need something from you.
Yeah.
Like if they got to get something from you, if you're doing something, they got to transfer some of that. But if
Yeah.
not, they're just going to say, "That's great, but you can go ahead and go."
Well, and it's my job is weird because like it's not like I'm constructing a bridge today and you need my hands to move these materials to build this thing like today. Like my impact is felt like over months. Like I'm a planner. Like that's my job.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at like
Yeah.
February. I'm looking at like March of next year. And so I'm not going to be here for February, March of next year. So like let somebody else make those decisions today. Like that's how this
Sure.
should go.
That makes
It's
sense.
very strange. Yeah, so Space Marine 2 comes out right when I'm going to be off.
That's crazy.
that'll be-
I'm
that'll be
going
perfect
on
timing.
I'm going on vacation. I think the week you start your job.
Yeah, I tend to take like a week in between. So I'll give my notice and then my start date is always a week after. And it's not like I change jobs often, but the few times
Sure.
that I have,
Well, I think that makes
I've
sense.
always given myself a little bit of time where I'm like, I'm just going to be unemployed for a little bit. I'm just going to have no in between. I hate the idea of like, cleaning out your office on the Friday and then starting the next job on the Monday.
I
Like,
feel the
that's-
same way. I do the
that
same thing when it
sucks.
comes to vacations.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
when I'm on
yeah. Take another
vacation, I
day.
always build in some buffer time.
Definitely.
No, I'm off the week after. That 20th week, I'm off.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
wife and I are going to the beach. We're going by ourselves. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Nice. Very nice. Chelsea and I are gonna.
Did you
we're gonna
catch
watch a movie
PSVG
tonight.
this week?
I don't. Did I? I feel like I
Because
did.
this,
Yeah,
I walked
TPR was on.
into. It's crazy because I've been. You're taking a new job. I've actually been a part of our interview panels to hire new people. First
Yeah.
time me like interviewing people.
Yeah, that's a fun experience.
But the new boss did a real solid to all of us. Something that I never actually thought would happen. Something I think he didn't even need to do. He just did it out of his own good. So we always have a duty officer. Like right now, I am on duty. If something happened in the city, I would have to leave this call right now and drive down to the city and be on scene.
Yeah.
Which means me. Let me check my text message.
Oh no. The one time.
So we rotate. Before we had staff, like I was on duty for like 8 years. Just
Yeah.
always. And when you're on duty, you're supposed to, not drink, not be away, not be out of pocket and all that.
Yeah.
So my boss, he comes from a different area and he's formalizing like a lot of things that I think we just did,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay. He's like, in other places where people are on call, like you get leave for that because you're
Right.
changing your plans and all that. Like this is
Big
just
time.
life. We were just doing this. And it's not just like an our agent thing. I think it's like this is just how it's done here in this state. People
Mm,
just suck it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we're not going to do that. He's like, so from now on, when you do duty officer, you're going to get, it's like 6 hours or whatever of leave that we're going to manage for you. And like, he's doing this like below board. He's
Yeah.
doing this out of his own.
Just
He's like,
doing it.
We're just going to manage it
Mhm.
internally and you can take this leave whenever you want. And we'll make it work. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Which I was like, that's crazy.
That's great.
But what it has done is it's brought up a dilemma because for years and years, long story short, we used to be a private agency that the county gave money to. Now we are a county agency. They kind of acquired us.
Yeah.
So by them doing that, we like all of our HR stuff changed in like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Before I never had a max on time. Now I do.
Mm.
and I notice and I realize I'm getting pretty close to hitting that max.
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm almost being forced to take time off. I've never been
Good.
one to really do it,
Yes. Yep.
but it's like now it's like if you don't, you're just gonna lose it. Like it just goes
Yes.
nowhere. You're not gonna get any more. Like you've hit the max.
Yep.
So the other day I walked into work and I literally turned in like 16 leave slips.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
I was
Yes.
there doing the math. I'm like, all right, I
Yep.
guess I'm gonna have like a lot of 3-day weekends. I'm gonna have a lot
Yep.
of 4-day weekend. I have a lot of like Wednesdays off. Like I'm just taking a day off.
You earned
Like,
it,
why?
man.
Like,
Absolutely.
no reason. Just
Mhm.
because if I don't, I won't get any more. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving them an hour. Like I refuse to give back time.
Good. You
So-
shouldn't. You're gonna enjoy that so much, like having those 4-day work weeks, the 3-day, the 4-day
I hope
weekends.
so.
Yeah, man. Like
I
that's what
scheduled
my
it-
summer's been like this whole time.
And I scheduled it like way out in advance
Mhm.
because my HR person, she was like, look, if you wait, that time's gonna be full of other things. So there's always something to do.
Yes.
There's always events. She's like, so schedule it now.
Yep.
So you don't feel bad about it later. Like, you know,
Mhm.
when people start asking me, like, I can't, I'm off that day.
Totally.
So like I
That's-
have just like 16 days off between now and December.
Yep.
Just so I don't leave time on the board.
That's been my whole summer. I'm actually off next week. Like I actually don't have to go back to work until
That's awesome.
the following Monday, and then it'll be 3 weeks ish before I'm done there. So I
I'm
highly
sure
recommend
folks
it, man.
know.
There's like 4 people who know, but yeah, most
Yeah.
people it's pretty tight-lipped
I don't know
for
if
sure.
those 4 people know.
No,
don't
they're
think
like
anybody
it's the
talks.
president and her direct reports
Oh,
who
okay.
know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
so,
Like it's
yeah.
not just like whoever. But
Yeah.
that'd be funny if they like somehow tuned into this and found that out.
So I was listening to your show the other day. Sean.
Yeah. So tell me about
Hard way
that.
to
Well,
find out you're leaving us.
I mean, the other day, it's so dumb. Like the whole the secrecy around it is dumb, anyways. And it's just I hate that kind of stuff. You know me. Like I just want it's just easier if we just like tell everybody.
What I was thinking was, I was like, I'm sure they know because you're taking time off, like because you've been. in and
That's
out,
that's the connection that they're gonna
That's
make.
what I was probably thinking.
That's the story.
Because if
that
one
people
of
are gonna
my
create in their
employees
mind.
was just like taking off an obscene amount of leave, I'd be like, oh, you're leaving. They're burning time off.
Yeah, it's and maybe that's part of it subconsciously, but like primarily it's just been like I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I've just got a ton of time that's been piling up because I've been there for 5.5 years. And I was
Sure.
there through the COVID year, so we didn't take time off. Like because you weren't going to go anywhere. So I've just got
Yeah.
all this time, and so they actually start tapping you. Go like, you need to start
When we were
using
the
some of your
agency,
vacation
the
time.
reason I never really took time off is because like if something happened, like if you got fired or if you left, like they paid you out for that.
That's why they started telling
So
me like start taking.
I always
your
wanted
time
to
off.
keep a large amount of that on hand because I'm always like in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, if I ever say the wrong thing to the wrong person, at least they'll have to cut me a sweet check before I leave. You know, like
Yeah.
I've always kind of had that in the back of my mind, but now they're like, well, actually, we won't. You'll just never get any of this time if you don't.
I
take
should
it.
go back and look. Honestly, Donnie, like I think I've got like a month of vacation time still, even after
Sure.
all this time off,
Sure.
and even after the upcoming.
When we
weeks, like,
switched over, and I'm not sure if you remember, it was a couple years ago, but we switched over from
Mhm.
agency to county. They cut me a check for $17,000. How much time I had?
holy crap!
Yeah. They were like, here you go.
Holy!
I had, because think about it, I'd been there for 14 years. When I
Yeah,
tell
man.
you, like, I'd never take time.
Yeah, no,
I really
I
do.
believe you.
I would take like 5 days. I would take like 1 week a year to go do something.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, I never really took time off.
Oh well, I'll find out about that pretty soon as well. I've got this vacation time all bulked up. They'll have
We
to pay
cap
that
it-
out.
We
Yeah,
cap at 320 hours. I
hours.
think this
Yeah.
past paycheck, I hit 290 something.
Ooh, how many? Yeah, golly. How
So
many
I'm, like,
weeks
pretty
is
close. I
that?
have no
40-hour
idea.
weeks.
Yeah, I have no idea.
290 hours.
300 divided by 4.
It's like 2 months almost.
Yeah.
Like you can do nothing for like 2 months. That's great.
It's just one of those things. Like I normally just don't take days off to do nothing.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, what am I gonna do?
yeah.
Now I'm literally taking days off just to have the day off. Like
That's the way
you
it
know,
should be. Like
I'll play some games or something.
you
I
should be
guess.
able
I
to
don't know.
earn that over time. Like that's the thing. Like as you put in your time, you get a little bit older. Like you should be able to
And my
enjoy.
HR person and the new boss, they're like, yeah, take the time. It's your compensation. Like,
Yes.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
I think there was always that. I was like, I don't want to take time off because I was always depended on for something. I don't,
Same.
like, they're like,
Yep.
like, no, take the time off.
Yep. Yeah, do it. You got so many things to do. You got so many wires to run and controllers to mod and all these things. Like, enjoy it, man. Like, that's it.
I actually, and I do think it's coming at a point where the last month or so has just been pretty go. Like,
Mhm.
I actually, at this point, I actually feel like I need it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh,
even
yeah. If
this
you're
past
there.
week has just been real, not full, not bad,
Yeah.
but busy.
Yep.
Like where I'm running from, like I'm running meeting to meeting.
Yeah.
I'm running to get there. Like I feel like I'm constantly chasing a plane that's about to take off. Like I just
Yep.
feel like I'm constantly under duress. Like I getting home, I'm like,
Seriously. Yeah.
you know, it's like, yeah. So I welcomed it.
Well, I'm
Once they gave
happy.
me extra
I'm happy
time, they're
for
like,
you.
now you're gonna give even more time to use. I was like, I'm gonna start using it then.
Yep. These are the things, like, this is how you can start seeing yourself in this job for forever, which is kind of what they want, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They want commitment and loyalty and all that kind of stuff. So it's a give and take for sure. Like, they want that commitment from you, then you can be comfy and cozy as well. You can spend time in your recliner, working away at
Well,
home or whatever it takes.
because we have a hybrid schedule. So I'm usually home
Yep.
on Thursdays, which I pick
Yeah.
specifically because Wednesdays go so late, so I can get a little sleep in
Smart.
before I pick
Yeah.
up. So on most of my leaves that I took, my random days, I took Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do you keep taking Wednesdays and Fridays off, but not Thursday? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I actually don't mind working. But if
Yeah.
I take Wednesday and Friday off, those 3 days I don't have to drive to work. So I'm only driving to work 2 days a week.
Yeah.
I was like, so that just makes me a real light week.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I have
It's like-
approached that very similar ways. Everybody else would do it this way, and you're like, no, we got to think about it a little more.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, so you can bet. I was like, if I ever need a toothache, if I ever have to go to the doctor, if I ever have to use some time, it's gonna be on a Wednesday or Friday. Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
free up those times.
So good. Yeah. Nice, man. I like it.
Well, I want to ask you about the new job, but I also don't want to put you on the spot and make you talk about it if you don't want to.
I could talk about it.
Okay.
It's still same industry. It's another group of hospitals, fundraising for a bunch of group of hospitals here, province-wide though. Going back to more like a
Network.
state, network of a bunch of. So the job I've been at for the last 5.5 years, it's 3 hospitals that are interconnected, like just in the city here, and so the next place I'll be going to is hospitals kind of throughout the province. So I'll have travel back in my life a little bit. It looks like I'm going to Lloydminster. No, Lethbridge. I'm going to Lethbridge, Alberta. Probably a late October, the
Is
week
this
I think
why you're-
before actually.
Is this why you're thinking of moving?
No,
Because of-
it's
okay.
just no. I think it's I don't know. It might just be time. Kids are getting a little bit bigger,
Mhm.
They share a room right now, so they have bunk
been there.
beds and
I was
so
there.
it might be
Yep,
time.
definitely.
So we're but also our mortgage term is up
Time
next
to level
year.
up.
So yeah, well, man, this whole the whole financing, it couldn't be better because we've got an amazing interest rate. We've been locked in for going into our 5th of 5 years, and our interest rate's like 1.8%. It's like free money. Like
Oh, that's
as far as
crazy.
because 5 years ago, man, the world
yeah.
hadn't exploded yet.
Mine's at
So we've been enjoying
2.9.
that. Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I
But
thought
what
it was until you
we're
heard yours.
moving into, it's not good. Like if we are to renew or whatever right now, like it's awful. So we're just kind of like looking at what
Yeah, that
happens
makes
when that occurs. So, and there's something very demoralizing about looking at your mortgage payment, going like, this is going to go up X number of dollars, and you're in the same house. Like if I'm going to increase my mortgage payment, then maybe I might want to be in a bigger better
house.
place, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that
So
makes sense.
yeah, just a little more space for the kids as they get a little bit bigger
Sure.
here. So yeah, that's
I'm
the main reason.
evacuating a hospital next month.
That's insane.
We're moving an entire hospital in one day from one location to another.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you have to.
Children's
Well,
Hospital.
Yeah. Oof.
In
Jeez.
CHOA. Not sure if you're in Children's
No.
Hospital of Atlanta.
Oh my
It's kind of like
god.
internationally known. It's a big deal.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like I forget how many patients it is. It's like it's a ton.
That's
we have like
insane.
I think we have ambulances running every minute from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And if we
Just
all
moving
get them
people?
all there on schedule, we'll get it done in one day.
Wow. How many patients?
I forget. I'd have to look at it again.
Whatever that works out to be.
Yeah, whatever. That's a lot.
That's insane.
And then like we have there's like a burn unit and there's a cancer flight, and so
Yeah.
it's a lot of specialized movements too.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, not to get too into that kind of stuff, but like you hear the word hospital and like you generally understand like what that is, but you break it down by like the unit and you start to realize like what people are going through in there. You talk about
Oh,
a burn
yeah.
unit, fuck
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Burn unit, oh my god, dude.
Well,
Like there are saints working in these places, taking care of
So-
these people. Holy crap.
The owner of the Atlanta Falcons
Yeah.
has put up a bunch of money with a bunch of other people to build what I dare say might be like the leading hospital probably in the world now for the children. And it's
Yeah.
easy to raise money for the children. When you're doing the
Yeah.
children, people love that shit, right?
Yep.
So Children's Hospital Atlanta has always been like a big deal. It's like and I don't know hospitals. I'm speaking more of like the reputation from people that work in hospitals and stuff.
Big time.
Everybody's like, this is like the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So Arthur Bryant came in and he's like, yeah, but you don't have the best of the best because you're in a building that was built in the 80s and whatnot.
Right.
So they've built a brand new hospital.
Yeah.
And the new hospital is insane.
Yep.
So like the cancer sector is on the top roof because they have to be isolated from the rest of the population. So on the roof, they've put in like a whole garden that they have people that come in and like mow the grass on.
Yeah, man.
And they have windows so the kids can get outside and get fresh air and stuff, so they
Yeah.
don't have to feel so isolated.
Mhm.
In the floors, they have kitchens with ovens and shit, so the families that are staying there can make meals.
Yeah,
so they're
it
not
matters.
eating cafeteria food. They've
Yes.
got like wings for the parents to sleep in, laundromats for the parents to do their own laundry. Nobody liked like the lights in the hospital, like the
Yeah.
light, like the fluorescent lights. So all the lights in the hospitals, like in this new hospital, they all look like trees.
Yeah.
Like they're all tree, like everything's all done up. There's this gigantic video, like virtual wall in the floor of the lobby where kids can
Mhm.
play with and touch. Like it's like from that level, the entire hospital has been built around how do we make this the
awesome.
best hospital in the world for children?
It's awesome.
And it's like all super smart tech and stuff. So like when anybody walks in your room, their badge is automatically picked up on a scanner on the door and it goes up on the wall and let you know who it is, what they're there for. There's a TV for the parents to see what the next appointment is and who's coming when the time, and there's an entire entertainment television in every room of this entire hospital for the children that is
best.
streaming SpongeBob and then like whenever they want. It's got constantly going. So yeah, it's a gigantic deal that I'm excited to play a really small part of, but my job is to build a little dashboard to keep track of where they are in the progress, to
Mhm.
like basically let all the regional partners in the area know how it's going.
Holy
So
crap.
like if we need assistance, if say like so let's say ambulance breaks down, we need another one.
Yeah.
It'll be my job of like putting that up so everybody can see it, so we can bring in another one and that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Like the way technology can just be like leveraged like that to solve some serious
I would-
problems and deal with the scale of it all.
If you work in it, like since you work with hospitals, I would implore you to like Google it, because when I saw the presentation, I'm gonna go actually Monday. I'll be there. I may even take some pictures and send them to you.
Yeah.
When I go there, or when I saw the presentation for the first time, it blew my mind at how it's like they literally got engineers, doctors, nurses, patients, parents together in a room, and they're like, okay, from your bed out,
Dream it. Yeah.
exactly what would make this the best place you could possibly
Is it
be.
the Arthur M. Blank Hospital?
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Yeah. Wow. Wow, look at this place. Yeah, it looks incredible, man. Holy crap. Just there's a drone tour.
It's
mean,
like the Taj
It looks like it
Mahal of
was
hospital.
built
Like,
by
it's insane.
NFL. This is the guy who owns the Falcons.
It's the guy that owns the Falcons and like Home Depot. I think he sold his stock or whatever. That's how he got rich.
Wow. Good. This is what's needed, man. That's awesome. And it's very, even just like hearing you talk about all the different features in it, it's like that's the intoxicating part about fundraising for it, is like going to people who have the means to contribute towards these kinds of things. It's like, yeah, who doesn't want that for people who need it?
Right.
You know?
And it's like one of the things that I learned, because I don't work in a hospital, so I don't know this stuff, but like in rooms you're doing surgery, there's like a practice, right, where like the hospital's like everybody that's near the bed is working on the patient, right? So there's like a circle, and
Yep.
then like everybody outside the circle is supporting that person, and like, and they showed like in hospitals they usually like tape it off or whatever. They're trying to like not cross contaminate. They literally built it into the floor of every room,
Yep.
so it's just built into the room. So now you don't have to worry about it.
That's
Like
just that there's been
that's what they're
so
doing. Like they're
and it's data driven, which is the coolest thing. Is there's so many procedures, so many surgeries, so many people, and then everything is measured. So when they come down to getting to renovate or build a new building, it's like they're gonna base it off all this knowledge. There's so much data to go like, if we do it like this, and this, you'll get X number more patients in, you have that much more success. And it's like I
So they-
live for that.
I forgot how many floors it is, but they added like 10 or 20 floors on top of that. So
Yeah.
they've got 10 or 20 floors to grow into
Nice.
to fill.
Yeah.
And then Arthur Blank bought the plot of land next to it and already pulled the foundation for whenever they need to expand. Once that building fills, the foundation is already
Because you know that's
poured
the way it goes.
for the
yeah.
next building to be built.
So good. So good. Yeah, like again, based on things that have happened in the past where a brand new hospital is built and it's like, oh, you're at capacity by the time the thing is done.
Yep,
Because so
by the
so
time it
often
opens.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like so knowing that, you buy the plot of land next to it and just that's the best. That's all. But we do that on a much smaller scale, but like things that you know are going to happen based on your experience, like you just iterate based on that.
Yeah.
That's so
This
much
is
of my
very
life.
forward-leaning,
Yes.
stuff, and it's like it was very, it's almost it's inspiring to be around. You're
Oh,
there,
that's
and you're
awesome.
like, this is.
I got a
insane.
helipad at the top. You got a
Yeah.
helicopter. You got. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. This is a great video. People should watch that. Come inside Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Arthur M. Blank Hospital. Golly, how much did he donate for it to have his name on there? The naming rights.
I
that
don't
kind of
know, but
stuff
the
is
guy
nuts.
the guy that does the emergency management for the thing, he has a funny joke. He goes, and if you give us, I forget how many billions of dollars, he's like, you could put your name on the side of it. He's
Yeah.
like, we're taking bids.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
I
there's
was
a
like,
there's-
I told him, I was like, how much to put my name on like a parking spot in can I just put it like in the bottom, like in the basement? Like this door was donated by Tawny Reed.
I mean, tens of thousands is the space that I'm aware of. Like, yeah, like
This is
having your name on like anything,
This
like
is
a
the
tiny little plaque.
PSVG memorialized sliding glass door.
Tens of thousands probably for the smallest. Yeah. There's a cancer hospital going up in Calgary, which is just 3 hours south of me, and a family foundation donated I think like $50 million to put their name on it. So, and that's here. It was a $1.2 billion hospital, and $50 million was the naming rights for that. It was a donation. So imagine having $50 million to just go like, you can have
donate.
Yeah, it's just like I'm good with the rest of the money that I have.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that just it's amazing. I'm just totally flabbergasted by like the work that I'm a part of is essentially asking people to go like, would you mind like handing over that cash and we will give you nothing in return? Like you get to feel good.
We've got this awesome plaque.
You get a plaque. Yeah, and we'll that's
We're gonna
it.
throw you
Like,
a party.
pretty much.
And thank you.
Yes, you get our most thoughtful thank you. That's it. Like that's bonkers to me. Like philanthropy is just it's crazy.
It
People
blows
just,
my
like, give
mind
out
that
their
like,
money.
it always blows my mind that like there's that much like wealth in the world.
Totally. Yes.
It's like, where did it come from? How did you accumulate? Why does nobody else have it? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of getting old is just my wife. She sent me a picture. She was like, realizing you're old is when you start walking around wondering how everybody affords everything.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is me. I'm just driving down the road. And I'm like, how? Who? How?
They probably aren't. That's the thing. Is maybe that's the year after that is like realizing that they actually aren't affording any of that stuff.
So.
You know, you do what you do your best. You do your best. You try your best, and but we've really tried to get things under control around these parts for sure. But yeah, like you know this, like having kids, like it's just we were not focused on the minutia of the finances. You know, like we just figured everything was good. But it was the last year or so that we really started to look at it in much finer detail.
Paid down. I mean, yeah, you're way better off than I am.
Really locked
I'm
it
definitely
down.
not in that at all.
We locked it down.
I refinanced my home a while ago to raise some capital and consolidate some debt.
Yeah. We just get rid of it. You know, and part of it started with like Yeah, not buying games, looking behind me, going like, I could sell this stuff, and
See, I haven't got there yet. I don't want to sell anything, and I want to keep
yeah,
buying games. So I keep trying to flip everything.
yeah, it feels really interesting to like the next paycheck that will come in. Like I don't owe, like I owe bills, like I owe
Right.
to run
Yeah.
the house, but like and the funny thing is with our line of credit, it was like it's a good interest rate, but that doesn't make it great. Like it was like this weird flip in my mind. I was like, I was really happy with this like really great interest rate we got. And it's like, well, all that happened was you have all this debt and you pay money to pay it down, and then they say thank you very much. Your debt just got bigger just because time has passed on, because
Yeah.
interest would tack on. It's like, golly, like it's so easy to get stuck in that kind of crap.
Sure.
Like, and to lose hope and all that kind of stuff. So we had to get pretty aggressive with it. And it's just nice to know like that's not gonna, they don't get to give us a bigger number next month. The bank doesn't get to increase it. It says
To
0.
dictate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a big reason why I refinanced. Was because I was paying out. I was just carrying. I was floating so many different sources.
Yeah.
Like we said before, it's I've replaced the roof. I've had to do an HVAC. I've had to do the air conditioner. I've had to do the.
That had a lot to do with this.
I had to do the water heater. I had to. I mean, I've told the story. It was years ago, but I had to waterproof the entire foundation of my house.
Yeah.
I had water coming when I first got in. That
Yeah.
was, you were talking earlier. Like where do you get 15,000? That's where I borrowed it. Like I didn't
Totally.
have it.
Exactly.
Right. So I've been carrying and paying that for years.
Yep.
And then so that was the thing. Now the refinance, I'm still paying it. Like the money doesn't go away, but by wrapping all together and refinancing, it's saving me like, I think we're saving like $800 a month what I
That's
was previously
huge.
paying.
That's huge.
It's a huge amount of money. Like just revolving
Yep.
money coming and going.
Yeah. Yeah. Big
So
time. Man.
it was like a big breather. I was just like,
yes, I feel that 100%. Like
you get a little room.
Yep.
But
and if something happens, like you got a little space for that too.
But that's the dread. The dread is like, yeah, but
what's
now
next? Yeah. No, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm like, I'm gonna celebrate
Comes
this
with
and
it.
like something. I mean, literally, like it was the same week that we went like, okay, that's all done, and yeah, the hot water heater is gonna be $2,000.
And I don't think my gaming stuff doesn't. I think it's like something I can hear my mother-in-law. Well, if you'd stop buying video games, it's like, yeah, that's not the same amount of money at all.
Yeah.
Like that's a little bit amount of money, and we're talking about large amounts of money.
It was more the mindset for me that like, because you're right. Like
I get it. Yeah.
I don't think that if I look at last year, but again, like you and I are similar in this way too. Like I get so carried away. Like I can be good, and this is why I'm just like no games. Like not even just like a little bit, like not like nothing. Because if I start, I'm like,
yeah, because you strapped down and you were like, this is it. This is the line.
Yeah, because I know how I am. Like I can talk myself into just like, okay, maybe just a little more, and whatever it is, that could be drinking, that could be any, like whatever you want. Like
sure,
if I just like, maybe I'll just start with 1, and then maybe it's like 6, and then you're in some serious trouble. So
yeah, if it were me, I like, instead of like, what I would have done is I would have sold that 3DS and be like, there's my gaming budget for the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is nothing. So that's probably where I'm at now, because
I've got I'll tell you. Hang on, let me pull my receipt.
Because I got $100 on Xbox right now, thanks to neighbor
My
Matt.
gaming budget is like, yeah, it's not like endless credit card. I have $792 to spend on games.
Oh, okay.
That's from flipping and trading. That
yes,
and that's my Switch too.
Yeah, that might be where I go from here. Yeah.
So I like that's what I'm working with, and that includes the money that I just got from my Series X trade down.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Man,
though.
That's why Nintendo needs to tell us about the Switch. Like
that's
how much do I need to save?
That's my budget. That's it. That's my budget for the year.
Yeah.
Next year, I'll spend more, but like that's it. So if I exhaust all those funds, that's it. I can't buy any other games.
And that's it. Right. I think you're good this year though. That'll definitely carry.
I've bought a lot of them. A lot of them have already been purchased.
Yeah.
It's like I've already bought Lollipop Chainsaw. I've already bought Space Marine. I've already bought Shadows of the Dam. I've already bought Astrobot. I've already bought a lot of things. I already have Mario Party. I already have Donkey Kong. I already have Echoes. So yeah, I've got stuff. Stuff's already kind of paid for. The things that I don't have, there are a few games that I have yet to purchase. I don't remember off the top of my head what they are, but I want to say I think one of them is absolutely Silent Hill. I will be
Oh,
playing Silent Hill, and I have not purchased that one yet.
looking at Green Man Gaming didn't seem to have Space Marine on there. Fanatical does.
Well, I bought it. So, have you used Green Man Gaming before to pre-order
Yeah.
something?
Maybe not pre-order. Probably not.
So what they will do typically, as I've seen, is especially for like PC games, not like all games, right? For PC games, which I definitely think Space Marine counts, when they're announced, they'll run like a 15 or 20% pre-order special, like as a part of
Oh,
like that
yeah.
marketing blitz, like that front page.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you pre-order now, you'll save money. And I did that for I just got Cat Quest 3, which just
Oh,
released.
did you? Yeah.
I pre-ordered that on GMG, and I ended up getting that game for like $13.99. But
Oh,
also
did you really?
I think I get a stack or a multiplier because I like if you keep buying, you get more. They have like their XP thing.
Have you played it? Can you get a refund for Cat Quest 3?
No, the code's already been distributed.
God, I got this code. I tried to give it to Bowser. She's like, I already bought the game. I'm
Oh, on
like,
Xbox?
On Xbox, yeah.
I probably played on PC anyway, but
Yeah.
why don't you want to play it?
I don't know. I guess maybe I'll take it. I guess maybe.
I
Maybe
really
I
love
will.
the demo.
You do?
But
Yeah.
Have you ever played one
Yeah.
before?
No, never played Cat Quest.
So it's like this little, like, I wouldn't say top down, but like this 2D action adventure game. But like with Cat Quest 3, they add in like a boat, and now you can sail around to multiple different islands. So it's like Cat Quest, but like Wind Waker. And I was like, fuck me, I'm getting that game. So I pre-ordered that game like immediately.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
but there are certain games like that when I mean, you know this about me, and I'm sure most of our listeners do by now. I am like bleeding edge on savings.
Yeah.
If I can save, like what was that Best Buy thing or whatever we had a while ago, where it's like you spend 100, you get 50. If I can get free money or save, like I'm all about the discounts because that's what enables me to keep buying to afford other things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you end up playing them. Like my problem got to the point where I was just buying games to have them. Like I wasn't playing them at all.
I
like
only do that like when they're like stupid cheap.
Well, yeah.
You know,
my threshold for what
if I can buy Fanatical, if I get 20 games for $7, like okay.
Yeah, that's where I should have been. That's where again, this is the I slide down slippery slopes all the time. And so I started there doing like 10 games for $10, that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well this one's $4. I could get a bunch of this one's like $7. Like it's not the same thing. Like it's not not even close. So that's where I ended up going with. But I'm looking at a video for Cat Quest 3 here. This looks very cute.
I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
What does this remind me of?
Here's the thing. It just came out with a bunch of stuff that I just got. So I'm playing Doom because Doom just got updated and released, but they came out the same day the Cat Quest 3 release, came out the same day that Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit came out. It's like suddenly I went from having like I'm playing whatever I want to play to here's 3 games you have to play, right? I'm like, damn it.
Dude, tell me about it.
And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like as soon as Outlaws hits, then it's here comes Zelda, here comes Space Marine, here comes Astro. Like, oh my goodness. Like it's just gonna like
this happens every year. We kind of have a bit of a summer. We're like, oh, we're good. And it's just like, no, you're not. And we know it.
All the games at once.
We are. It's not like they should be surprising us. We've been told. We've been warned about this. We know. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I might have to try to carve out some time for some of this stuff.
But I was so gonna, and after our show, I'll probably dive into I don't know, Cat Quest or Five Nights at Freddy's. But like I was gonna dive into Cat Quest yesterday, and then fucking QuakeCon, they were like, "Do you want to play more Doom? The best Doom, the Doom is." I was like,
and by the way,
yes,
it's free.
I do. I guess
you already have, and I have Doom on like everything. I've got on Xbox.
Oh yeah,
I've Switch on PC.
I've played Legacy of Rust on Switch, and I've played it on PC already. And I played it on my PC at work yesterday. Like I've been working, I've been chewing on it. I've been trying to get through it, but it's brutally hard. Like it is really hard. Tough, man.
Yeah. I know you're like looking around, like, is there health around here somewhere? Please, God, like
on so many enemies. I've never seen that many enemies at once.
I know. Like, what are you even supposed to do?
Where did they all come from?
Man, what a good game, that Doom. Oh, the only place I didn't play it on my PC. I think I've got it loaded up on Steam.
It's like they've perfected it. It's like this has been perfected.
Yeah.
It's as good as it'll ever be. Oh, and it's
It really
Sean,
does feel that way.
it's got remixed soundtrack. The sound,
I
the
heard
soundtrack
it.
is-
Yeah, that's why,
Oh,
because it gives you the
so-
option to
so
play them.
good.
Yeah. And it's like one of the
Like,
first things it does.
What a wrench into all of my plans.
I feel
And
the
here's
same way.
Stu.
I feel the same.
I
I'm
was
like,
damn it, guys.
I'm gonna
Give me
finally
some warning. Let
I'm
me
gonna get
plan
through-
for this.
This is why it's just like I should stop planning anything, because like
And it's
Doom 1 and
crazy.
2 could just like pop out.
It's crazy with Xbox and Bethesda because like this is a giant thing. It is, and here's the thing: I haven't played it. This is new. Like
It's great.
You can play the same Doom like as before, but like if this was PlayStation, they'd sell this as a whole new Doom.
Yeah,
Because there's so much work into it. It'd just be a new thing. They'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is the new thing.
Yeah,
And Xbox is like, nah, if you had it, it's free. It's
That
on
is
Game
nice.
Pass. It's just
yes. Yeah, just have it. Just
it's like
play
this
it.
is why you guys are going to
No.
like you need to make money, Xbox.
I know.
Charge
Stop getting
people for
charged. But like, what would you charge? Like,
I
don't
don't
know. Man.
know, but
I-
like
like,
make something.
It's the bundle. Like they're bundled together. It's a single launcher. You can play.
Yep.
I mean, really, like the
All
two
of
games.
the episodes. There's a bunch of episodes. In
Yes, there's
there.
so
Sigils right
much.
there. I do love the new launcher. It's really nice and clean.
Yeah,
Way
it's
cleaner than
good.
it used to be.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And then you've got all the accessibility and all the new menu options.
Tons of
You can change
options.
the music, and you can change the wobble, like all the
The
options. you could
screen
ever
size
want.
too, dude.
Yeah.
So funny. Like again, I used to play
It
on our
runs
old
so well.
386.
Oh. I mean, not
Well,
that
we
like Doom, but like it runs insane. Like when you
Oh
play
yeah,
it, when you just turn it, when you go stick and you move the stick forward, you're like, this is nice.
Yep.
You know, like, oh, this
yeah.
is
We've
real-
gotten away from this. Just instant feedback. Our old computer, the very first one that we ever had, this 386, it had 25 megahertz, not gigahertz, 25 megahertz is the CPU speed on this thing. Super slow. And so we were always having to like scale games in order to play on this thing. And with Doom and Wolfenstein, you could shrink the screen size. So it'd just be like
Yeah.
this little window of like
box
the
that ran
actual
well.
game. And so that's still there. It's still an option on
Yeah,
this thing. You can
yeah.
still squeeze it down, but you can also expand it to the point where there's actually no like HUD on the bottom. It's not a bar, but the gameplay screen takes up
I
the
wasn't
whole
going to pay a whole lot of
screen.
attention to it, like because I wasn't watching QuakeCon, and then
Yeah.
it's the Legacy of Rust. They were like a brand new episode
Yes.
built from the developers,
Yes.
id Machine Games,
Machine games.
and New
Yeah.
Blood, and I was
Yep.
like, fuck,
Yeah,
now I
man.
have to play it.
Yeah.
you
What
know?
is that like? Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
real
want to
good.
dive in a little bit. I want to dive in a little bit more. I played it on Switch a touch, and then I started getting achievements on Xbox, and I'd actually like to play it. I think I'm most at home on PC. Just
And on the Switch,
with-
you had to re-download the whole a whole new launcher.
Xbox, I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because my on PC, it was just there. Like my old Doom just updated to the new Doom.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, my icon and everything was just Doom. Now it's Doom plus Doom 2.
I'm trying to think if I did. I think
On
I did
Switch,
the
because
same
here's the funny
on
thing: on
Steam.
Switch, I expected it, and I kept launching the Doom app, waiting
Yeah.
for it to update. It wouldn't update. And I was like,
Right,
why
that's
is
what I
this
did.
working?
Right. Yeah.
And then
yeah,
I
yeah.
went into the eShop, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a
Yeah,
new
it's
launch." I
different.
was like, "Oh, I gotta launch a new game now."
I want to say that was the same on Xbox, but yeah, Steam. I think it was just here. Doom 1
Yeah.
and Doom 2.
Yeah, I just opened my PC, and it was like, "Yeah, it's Doom." I was like, "Oh shit,"
so good.
because I was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
excited. Pretty,
Yeah, same here, man.
cool.
Well, now I kind of want to see. I haven't played it here on my ultra wide. What happens?
Yeah,
here?
you got to turn it up. It's real nice.
You can launch a DOS version.
Yeah,
That's not that I want to do that right now. I saw somebody posted on Twitter, like kids asking what's DOS. And when they saw that, they're like, "What's this DOS?" And it's like, "Oh no."
it's
it launches.
really it like having taken it for several test drives. It's really nice. Like it's much
Oh.
better. It's not like a non. It's not like a nothing update. It's a significant. It's an
Mhm.
overhaul. Like it really does. It's like they perfected it. This is the perfected version of Doom 1 and 2.
Yes,
It's perfect.
I need
Like,
to
this
quit.
is it.
I launched it and it is so loud, Donnie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just like dun, 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 dun. Like okay,
Like,
Doom,
there
I
were
see
several
you.
episodes that I never even knew or heard of. And I
Same.
look at them like I want to
There's
play these.
so
too.
much content here.
So much.
Yeah, dang, Doom, man, hell yeah, keep bringing
So
it
that's-
back.
That's what I've been doing for the last 36 hours, just playing that. When I want to be playing
Ah.
Cat Quest, I want to be playing. Have you heard about this Five Nights at Freddy's game?
I have. I couldn't care less about that
Oh,
one.
I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't know anything about this. Will be my first ever Five Nights at Freddy's game. I couldn't tell
really?
you anything about the universe.
Same, and I don't. That's the thing.
The reason that I've
Don't
been
care.
interested in this game from the moment I saw it, I'll never forget it. I saw 5 seconds of the game and I was like, "Holy shit! Somebody made a Clock Tower game. It's Clock Tower." the game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, it's a Clock Tower game. It looks like Clock Tower. It's like, oh my
Interesting.
God. And it was great because Yarden popped in when it went up because it was a surprise release. And they're like, and it's out now. And
Mhm.
Yarden tagged me and they're like, people on Twitter are saying it's a Clock Tower game. I sent him a screenshot from like a year ago of me going like, what is this Clock Tower game?
Nice.
Anybody that's played it, when you see it, anybody that knows,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's Clock Tower. So I'm excited to get in there, and who knows, maybe I'll
You
like
bet
it.
you
maybe
never
I don't.
stream. You bet you don't stream and share these games with people.
Do you still stream?
I streamed last night. We did a little Helldivers that didn't
See, I
work,
don't
and then we
do the
played
Twitch
Fortnite.
thing. I never know. Like, why don't you stream to YouTube?
I don't know, because we do
Well,
Twitch.
See,
people seem to support
don't
more
like
on
Twitch.
Twitch.
oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
they do. I just don't like it. No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the minority. I talk
Yeah.
about this all the time. I don't like Twitch.
Yeah.
I try to open it and get a commercial. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I
Yeah,
just
that's
wanna
pretty
watch,
kind of nuts.
you know. And the commercials happen like right in the middle of it. I remember there was one time. I wish I recorded it. There was this one time you were running a contest or something, and you're like, "All right, guys, and we're gonna do it right now," and it literally
Oh,
commercial.
for real.
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh, I need to do something. There's a command you can have that like warns the streamer when everybody is watching an ad. And so as a streamer, like I never know when an ad runs. So I need to be able to like see that so I can just
But it worked out
pause.
because I think your chat let you know, and you were like, "Oh, we'll hold off and everything." But like
Yeah.
as the person sitting there watching, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
come the fuck on!"
Yeah.
But I also like am very impatient because I'm a YouTube Premium subscriber. I
Makes
don't
sense.
see ads. I haven't seen them in
Yeah.
years. Like this
Yeah,
is what I
makes
want,
sense.
you know. So I'm just set in my ways.
Yeah, no.
I know
get
the
it.
gamers are on Twitch. I get it. I'm just I could care less.
No, it's gonna we haven't announced what we're doing for Extra Life, but it's gonna fund something pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Pretty
I forgot
cool.
all about that.
So,
That is about to kick back up again.
it's
Isn't
3 months, less than 3 months away. So yeah, we've but we've been stashing money on that side too, like all the stuff from Patreon and Twitch and merch and everything like that. Like it goes into this just savings account basically. So we're
it?
we've been working towards something cool for Extra Life, which will be exciting. But
Always.
I wanted to tell you, I watched last time we chatted. Like we were getting, I was getting on it.
I was going to tell you this is good. I'm going to have to go around 8.
Okay.
I don't have a definitive.
We don't need to do it long. Yeah, no, it's good.
Well, I mean,
It's
like, it doesn't have to be at 8. It could be 8:10 or whatever. It's just my wife's gone, but my kids are here. I am in charge of doing dinner.
All
So
good.
around
No,
8,
feed
I
them.
gotta
No,
do it.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
So let's talk movies.
2 movies. One I've seen before that I was scared to watch again. One I've never seen before. Which one do you want to talk about?
The one that you've seen previously. The
Midsummer is a movie that I like how that
you
worked
still
out.
hate it?
I like it
It's
even
the
more.
best! It's
I
the
like it
fucking
even more.
best!
But I was scared of it. I was scared of it because it's dude, it's just, I mean, it's really one scene that would like really freak me out. Just the cliff scene just like really got me for
I was
sure.
just about
Just
to
like,
say, yeah, that's a
holy
good one.
crap, man. It is excellent. And I remember like I finished it
So
and I'm like,
fucking
I'm
good.
really glad that I did that. And I had built up in my head, don't watch this movie again because like you had your one experience with it, or for all these other reasons, I didn't want to do it again. And I did, because we were talking about Midsummer last time. It came up among other movies. And I'm like, I'm so glad I could watch this at least once a year, maybe multiple times per year.
for sure.
It is remarkable, this movie.
This makes me so happy.
Yeah,
Because
it was
here's why this makes me happy. I love this movie. It's well documented. Like I
Yeah.
absolutely fucking like this movie is I'm all up this movie's ass.
yeah.
And when it came out, I was like that obnoxious movie fan that was like,
Yeah.
you gotta see it. It's amazing. And I
Yeah.
understand anytime you ever put that on people, I feel like
Mhm.
the natural reaction is be like, it wasn't that great. You know, like
Yeah.
that's the normal thing.
Yeah.
But it is though.
Yeah.
And like if you watched it once and you're like, it's not that great, watch it again.
Yeah.
Because it is though.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Mhm.
I just know you'll find it. And anybody out there, and I've argued that we have several people, and people could not like it. That's fine. I'm not trying to turn them. we have had several people in decorative horror over the years that were like, "Yeah, I watched it, I didn't like it. It wasn't scary, it wasn't funny." And
How?
I always tell them the same thing. I go, "Okay, now go learn about the movie. Go learn
Yeah.
about all the hidden things that are in the background, the things you didn't see the first time. Like go
Mhm.
study it a bit, then go watch it again."
Yeah.
And the people that at least take me up on it, they typically come around. I do have one friend who's like, "Donnie, I just don't like it. It's not that good." I'm like, "Okay, well, to each their own. I can't change the world."
Wow.
But the thing that made me really happy about this movie, I saw this movie when it came out, like day one. I was day one on 2 movies. They came out either the same day or the same week.
Mhm.
It was Annabelle Creation or Annabelle Comes Home. I don't remember which one. It was actually really good. I like the Annabelle movie. And then Midsummer. My wife could only see one. She couldn't come with me both days. She chose Annabelle.
Mm.
So we went and saw Annabelle, and I was like, I liked it. That was cool. And then it was like around, I want to say it was July 4th or 5th, because I remember working. I think I worked all morning July 4th, like I normally do. And on my way home, I stopped at the movie theater. I walked into Midsummer. And my only going into it was Ari Aster. I absolutely adore Hereditary. I was like, the man could do no wrong. I wasn't expecting to go find like my favorite horror movie I've ever seen in theaters, but that's exactly what the fuck I did.
Yes,
I was
sir.
there, and I like midway through the movie, I was like, oh, this is fucking incredible. Like,
yeah,
this
you're
is
just like
this is cinema.
jaw
Like,
dropped.
like
Yes.
that was the enthusiasm, and like almost like the bigger point I was trying to share with people is like, this to me felt like other people that like saw Star Wars in theater, like, or saw
Right.
like a big movie that you're gonna remember forever. You know,
It's
like
an Interstellar level for me.
yes, I was there Interstellar the week it opened, and it was like,
Yep.
you have to see it.
Mhm.
Midsummer was that for me, and for me that was very special because, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I've had too many of those moments in the horror genre. Most of the horror movies that I love are old, and I saw them after they released.
Yep.
The one that comes to mind, and it's not even that, it's not a great movie like Midsummer is, but I love the Dawn of the Dead remake movie, which I caught opening weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is great. To me, it was that was the movie. And then I hit Midsummer, and I was like, no, this is the movie. I was there when Midsummer came out. And I told my wife, I came home, and she was like, how is the movie? And I looked at her, I'll never forget, I said, you picked the wrong movie.
Yeah.
like you picked the wrong. She was like, is that good? She had to listen to me for a year talk about how much I love this movie, because she didn't want to, whatever, I don't know, we were busy. She didn't go to the movies to see it.
Yeah.
So it comes out on home video. I buy the director's cut, whatever. I got the special edition. I was like, oh, I'm giving them everything I could possibly can for this movie. We sit down on the couch and we watch it. And the whole time I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just watch the movie. The end of the movie, she looks at me and she goes, that's art. And I was like, I fucking nailed it. Like, it's so good. Like, she got it. She was like, this movie is going to go in the Smithsonian or something one day. Like,
it should. It's so unique and courageous. And dude, like, you know, it's so funny because, again, like you talk about, I'm going to have to watch it probably another 2 or 3 times to like get to the deep part that you're talking about.
Did you see The Sister in the Trees?
No. Oh my, this is what I mean. So let me just tell you like where, like the journey that I'm on with this. And it's very brief in terms of like, I was so preoccupied. My mind space.
I've got time for Midsummer.
Well, it's just not, there's not a lot to this, but it like an example to show you of just like why I need to watch this more times is like the visual in my mind, having watched it the first time, was like maybe the final scene where it was just her face and she's kind of like, she's smiling, like she's kind of like, ooh, like that's a little like, that gives you the chills. And then the cliff scene as well. Those are like, there's these flashes of visuals that like really occupied my mind when I thought about Midsummer. So then I fired up the second time just a couple of weeks ago, and the opening was completely lost to me. I forgot completely like the general premise of this with the family, the parents and the sister, and oh my god, wait, whose sister? Like whose sister's in the trees?
From the beginning of the, look at your Discord.
Oh my goodness. Do I even want to? Oh, no way. No way. That's actually in it?
Yeah. And look, if you look, there's the mouth and you see the
Oh my dude. Like I forgot that was even like why she wanted to just like go away. Like I forgot
I
that.
love this movie for so many reasons. The biggest fault that I've heard from people that don't like it is that they say it's not scary, it's not scary enough. And I think that's probably I actually think that I take that as a compliment because I think the scary thing about this movie is how commonplace and accepted it makes everything that's happening look. It is very
Yes.
much that frog in warm water situation
Totally.
where
Oh yeah.
by the end there are literally horrific things happening everywhere.
Yep.
But by the end you're like like
Yeah, I
you're
can
in
see
the
it.
cult.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in it. Like you've been brainwashed. You're like, this totally makes sense in this universe. And that's the
Mhm.
scary part. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that's the fucking scary part. That's why this is terrifying.
Oh, I know.
Like they're
yeah,
fucking ripping this
yes.
dude's lungs out. They're burning this person alive.
Mm.
Do you not fucking see what's happening?
I know that's like, people need to see this movie. Ryan's in the
I
chat
love
saying I
it.
still haven't seen
And I
it. It's
hate
like,
it because I
oh.
hate. I've known this person. I've hated this
Yeah.
person. The person
Yeah.
I am right now. I've hated
Yeah.
this person. I
Best
get it.
movie ever.
I hate it. Like and
Yeah.
especially in the horror space, there's always somebody that has one of these, and I will never not be this person.
I just don't understand how you watch that and go like, that's it's so special. It's so you
I
haven't
love
seen
so
anything
much
like
of
it.
That they do all of it in the brightest of daylight.
Yep.
Is incredible. Like there's no movie like it. There's like
Yeah.
it's
That's
the
what I mean.
best.
Yeah.
It's so
yeah.
good.
I
There's so much
adore it.
innuendo. There are so many hidden images. There's so
Yep.
many Easter eggs.
Oh, I've got to see. That is insane. I know.
Yeah, just YouTube
wow.
it. You don't have to watch the movie again. YouTube it, and then
Well, and then I can watch it.
And in a couple years when you watch it again, then you'll see them.
Yeah.
And when you see them again, you're like, "Holy shit, this movie's amazing!"
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, and it really was because of our show, like that we did the last time. I'm like, what am I doing here? I can just sit there and watch a 2-hour movie. Like, what? It's not a big deal. it's not a big production. Just do this damn thing. So Midsummer, I rewatched and grew even more fond of the movie. And yeah, the imagery, the sort of the more scary stuff, like quote unquote scary stuff, like it isn't nearly as like the shock value isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
so then I
it's
can
not a jump
appreciate the
scare,
rest
and
of
it's
it.
not a gory movie. Yeah, no, it's not. It's an art house horror movie.
Yeah, it's pretty dang good. So,
But I think it's the best of that. Like it is of all the art house horror you could catch. This is the one.
because it doesn't come across as like, oh, look how, to me it doesn't anyways. It doesn't come across as like a look how artsy we are and look I don't know, like maybe it's there, but
like,
it doesn't.
No,
not
just
pretentious.
compared to, it's definitely not. It's smart.
Yeah.
But to compare it to like horror, and you compare it to Jason or Friday, like it's, I could see people coming from that angle, and they're like, oh, that's a thing. People don't like those sorts of, like, it's the same thing about The Witch. Eggers The Witch. A lot of people feel the same way about that, and I love The Witch. The Witch is incredible.
That's on the list as well. It's on the wish list on
Before
Amazon.
we move on the list, memory recalls you have yet to see Hereditary, correct?
I've not seen Hereditary.
That needs to be the next one.
Yeah,
right? Whatever you're doing now that you've seen this one, watch Hereditary immediately.
Yeah.
Hereditary, it's not even close to the same. Hereditary is a more classical horror movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Josh and I 100% have always agreed with him. He said this over and over and over in Decade of Horror. Hereditary is the most perfect 3-act structure of a horror movie ever created.
Wow.
Like that movie.
Yeah,
is
they
like
nailed the ending. They nailed the ending.
It's kind of perfect. Like the whole thing is kind of perfect. But unlike Midsummer, Hereditary is legit scary. It's way darker.
Yeah.
So like you've seen this one, the bright sunlight and everything. But you got to remember when you watch Hereditary, remember that was the introduction that most people had to Ari Aster.
Yeah.
Then he fucking did this whole flower out in the sunshine, hippie shit.
Yeah.
It was a complete.
I love it. Show me your
difference.
range, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I walked out of that movie going, this is one of the greatest horror directors of all time.
Yeah.
Like he's up there.
And he did it in 2 movies.
He did it in 2 movies. Like I've seen 2 movies. I was like, he can literally do no wrong.
Yeah.
And then he did that damn thing with Joaquin Phoenix that I've never seen. I've got to see it one day. He did the one. Yeah. It's like it's a really trippy. It's not a horror movie. It's kind of, I think they tried to say it was a horror movie, but it's really not a horror movie. It's this really trippy movie that I have yet to watch.
Bo is
I'll
afraid.
watch it one day, but because it's Bo is afraid because it's not a horror movie. I didn't catch it. It seems to be very experimental. It's like some John Malkovich shit.
Yeah, that's a
So
weird
I was
movie.
like, maybe one day. Like, I'm not really in the mood. But the acting in Hereditary it's insane.
Well, who knew? You could actually have good art direction, good cinematography, good acting, good you bring all the other things to horror.
I'm trying to remember her name. What is her name? Josh would know it off though. Toni Collette puts in an all-time performance in Hereditary. The grief that she struggles with will hurt you to your core. When you hear her wail, you will feel it like in your bones.
Well, Chelsea and I are watching a movie tonight. I don't know if she's up for that, but we'll see.
It's tough.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But awesome.
There's one screenshot that shows up just like it's a lady in a room staring at somebody else who's on.
Don't look at anything. I don't want to. You don't want to be spoiled.
Okay.
Don't look at anything. Turn it off.
That's pretty. I see.
You gotta watch it. You gotta go in blank, because there's a moment. There's a moment like The Descent. There's a moment in Hereditary. You're gonna message me and be like, "Holy shit!" Yeah. There's a moment. Like, I don't want.
What did you just say? There's like a moment in Descent. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, The Descent. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other movie that I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that's why I picked this one.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, did you?
Because you told me you sent me a screenshot. You were watching.
I sent you a screenshot of both. Actually, I sent you a screenshot of Midsommar, but I think you might have missed it. And it was a nondescript, like Florence whatever faces like staring out the window, like didn't really look like her. It was almost like a test. I'm like, I wonder if Donnie will recognize it from this.
Now I want to go look at your messages. I think maybe I just missed it.
It was, I mean, obviously a while back, so
I can scroll.
But yeah, The Descent I watched for the first time on, I think it was on Amazon.
Oh, you did. I didn't even recognize it.
Yeah, it's not anything like.
No, I don't even recall seeing this picture. Like I must have just missed it.
No,
I wonder, did I bury it when I replied to you?
Probably. I mean, we tend to go off on.
You posted to me at 1 a.m.
Yeah, I guess I was watching it pretty late.
Oh yeah, so I think maybe that was it. I think I woke up and just sent you some stuff.
Just
never looked at it. I was like, "Hey, Sean, look at my Series S." I just buried it.
Next, yeah.
Ryan, you should watch Midsommar.
Ryan, like, what are you doing?
Buy
Everybody
Midsommar
should watch.
Dress up. Yeah, like I am very much. They sold her flower dress at auction.
Oh, really?
Do you know that I put in a bid for it?
I'll bet you did.
I did. And I was not even close. And Sean, I bid a lot.
Did you really?
When they opened it up, like I created an account and everything. I was sharing it in Decade of Horror. I was like, I wonder how much it's gonna go for. Like, do you think I could buy this? And I bid $2,000.
What would you do with it? What would you like?
I have this. I have horror royalty.
Yeah, that's
house.
pretty.
Like,
that is.
I would have built a whole case for it. What are you talking?
Somebody paid more.
I would have made it my whole personality. Is what I would have done, Sean.
Yeah, shows up on the stream wearing it.
I bid $2,000 for it, and I think within minutes the bidding was like $16,000. I was like, "Oh, I'm out."
Crap. Yeah, it's pretty special. It's a special movie, and that's kind of there's the addicting part of like watching movies and discovering stuff. You're like, when is the next one? When do you get to find another just amazing? And it never happens. Like that's
if we ever
what makes them special.
And I know we will, so I don't want to say if we ever, but I mean, Ari definitely, like, he did Beau's Afraid, so he's trying to branch out.
Yeah.
The next time they would get an Ari Aster like written and directed horror movie, that's like a messy event.
Yeah.
Like we're all gonna be on bated breath. He's the dude.
Yard in the
sold for 65. I bid 20. I bid $2,000 is what I bid. Yeah, I was in there in like the first 5 minutes. I was like $2,000, and it was like awesome. Immediately not enough.
I love that. I wonder who got it. I wonder what kind of person got it for $65,000. Holy crap. That's awesome.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to find anybody that liked it. And if people out there that listen, if you didn't like it, I'm happy about that too. At least you give it a try.
Give it a try. Give it a shot.
But I love it. That's
pretty unique
about movies.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. Yeah.
So what did you think of The Descent?
The Descent, yeah, definitely a little bit more traditional, but still different. Like it was like I almost say like that's not even like their best way to describe it right off the top. Because it's a bunch of these girls. Like number one, something awful happens right at the start that it really quite caught me off guard. It seemed like a nice kind of family moment. Everything was.
I think I told you this last time. The Descent is it might be my favorite sleeper movie recommendation to people ever.
Yep.
Like anybody's like, hey, give me a recommendation for a deep cut or something I've never heard of before. This is that movie. This is that
for
movie.
Sure.
I'm like, you need to watch The Descent.
Yeah. It was nice because it was different. It like all female cast.
Yeah.
Number one. So you got all these.
And this is back in like I don't know when 2008 or whatever when it came out.
Yeah, and I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't have any expectations. I suppose other than your recommendation. I just didn't know really what was involved. But it was like this ensemble cast, and kind of some cliche moments. Like you got somebody who's acting on their own accord and kind of trick some people into doing something that they wouldn't normally be doing, and you've got some monster stuff that kind of sounds a little bit cliche, but all within like the claustrophobia of being in.
So the monster stuff
spelunking
is that's like the big turn for that movie. Did that catch you off guard, or are you expecting that? Because when that monster comes into frame the first time, that for me, I was like, oh shit! Because watching that movie, there's like 30 minutes of that movie where you're like, you're not expecting anything like that.
Yeah, it was a surprise, but I think it was probably it wasn't like a oh yay monsters.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. No,
it was like, oh, I guess we're doing this, but then like it kind of like so instantly when I saw monsters, I was like, oh, it's kind of a bummer. But then they got more interesting actually, and the way that they were dealing with them, I thought was interesting. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Wendigos of Until Dawn, a little bit. It's like, oh,
this
these
movie
are
has always reminded me of like it's not the same movie, but the premise is always giving me like The Hills Have Eyes vibes.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, well, like they're kind of, I guess they're people that evolve. They're surviving down in these caves. I thought that was good, and some of the backstabbing that happens was like there's one scene I'm like, oh my god, she killed her! Like holy crap, dude! So
was it the knee scene?
Oh,
it's real good.
Yeah, I think I reached out to you first. Like some girl like falls down a pit and she lands pretty hard and her bone is sticking out of her leg.
Oh god,
that's the stuff that gets me. Like, yeah, I can watch somebody get burned alive or the lung sticking out from Midsommar. I'm like, oh, cool, that's neat. And I see the bone sticking out, and it's awful. But yeah, like it wasn't Jason, it wasn't Freddy, like Krueger or anything. It was a nice movie. It's a weird way to describe it.
Yeah,
because it had just enough scare. It was just unique enough. I don't think I've seen really anything quite like that either. But elements of stuff that I've seen 1,000 times with the monsters and stuff. So sure. I thought it was like I'm looking for stuff like that because I think that when people think about horror movies, they think about the slasher flicks and they're all iterations of each other, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't that. This is a little bit.
I like those. There's a comfort food aspect to that. I love a group of teenagers being chopped up for doing bad things by the bad guy. Like I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have that palate cleanser. But more so, and I think this is like where Midsommar really excels. When you find somebody that does bring like genuine creativity to something, it stands out hard in a horror genre. Where everything can feel so samey. Even if it is good or entertaining, it, boom, here's something you haven't seen before.
Oftentimes in games, I talk about like falling in love with like a premise, like the reason why everybody is there and the motivations behind it. Like that, it's not really what strikes me with this movie. But it's the setting that instantly sets it apart. It's like, okay, they're going to be in this cave.
You feel it, but you feel the cave. You see the tunnels and the breath, like you feel the oxygen. Like it's so tense.
And it makes sense. Like they make why they're there make enough sense, and it makes the monsters make sense.
By the way,
there.
Spelunking's fucking scary. Like look it up. People die. Like it's fucking scary. There's a reason why that shit's on YouTube and stuff of people barely being able to breathe and stuff. Because
it's basically like, oh, we're out on a remote farm somewhere and nobody will be able to help us, but it's not that. Like it's the same idea that you're away and you're remote, you're all by yourself. Or you're in space, like, you have that 1,000 times over. Nobody can hear you scream in space. It's all of those things, but like I've never seen anything set here. So instantly interesting. Like I live for that kind of stuff where you go like, you do a little change and I'm instantly going like, oh, I haven't seen this. I've never seen a horror movie in broad daylight before. Yeah. Instantly interesting. I've never seen, a movie set in the caves like this.
My immediate takeaway from Midsommar, like walking out of there, is like, I've never seen a movie not use light tricks and dark and shit to do. Like this shit was just like right in front of you. See the whole thing,
which it's meta about the movie itself, by the way.
And I feel like it gets no real credit for that.
Yeah,
like a lot of people just don't. They just they just pass away. Like that's something everybody does. It's like nobody does this.
Nobody does it, but again, it's
It relies on no cheap tactics. It had to
visually
be
it's
hard as
interesting.
fuck to make.
Right. Yeah, because you just see you can't hide anything. It's just drenched in daylight, the whole thing. But that's the point of like to your point at the very end of the movie. You realize you're that toad in boiling water or whatever. Like everything is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the movie is
And that's
daylit.
the scary part.
Yes.
I'll never when I
Like
was in theaters, Sean, I was looking at people. Nobody was. You're lulled into it. Everybody's in. You're like, yeah, we're here. It's like you've been cultivated.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, is that where that word cultivated? Oh no. Cultivated? Oh no. Oh no.
Like you're all here. You've been brainwashed.
I think those are related words.
Oh, you're right. It is meta and meta. I mean, it's so.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I love it. Well, and that's sort of like
I love that movie.
I talk about with Celeste too. Jump into games for a real quick sec too. Like the point of the story in the game is like overcoming challenge, and the game itself is challenging, and like that's kind of almost an easy thing to do, but not all.
You beat Hollow Knight, my man.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, 40 hours, 76% complete.
I've often wanted to go back to, but it broke me so hard. I just don't think I could. I don't think I can.
Did you ever use it in like the PSV? It's like, is it on? I feel like you've used assets from Hollow Knight in something like in a like the splash screens at the start of your shows. Is Hollow Knight? Maybe it's Death's Door is what I'm thinking of, or something like that.
Yeah, definitely Death's Door in the PSVG one. I was at the time lead into Hollow Knight. I was screaming through the roof like I love that game's style.
Yeah,
I was like, this game looks fucking awesome. Like I can't.
Yeah, man,
it's just a lot harder than I'm good at. I'm just not good enough, I don't think.
Yeah, it gives way after a while. Well, maybe not so much. It just depends on how. Like you just have to pour time into it. And just get new abilities and get stronger and all that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's not just that you have to
I think
get good.
Jason was telling me, he was like, stop trying to do what you're doing. Like, go somewhere else. And I was like, no, this ends here.
Yeah, no,
I was really
I've been there.
stuck on it.
Dude, I played the final boss for 2 hours.
I'm not going to do anything. See, those are I know I said it before, but what really broke me wasn't the Soul Master. It wasn't because I think if I sat there like I have with Metro, if I had sat there long enough, I would have gotten through.
Yeah.
What broke me was selling Jason that I was having trouble with this very part, and him being like, "Oh, but I fight 8 of those later on." It was that broke me. I was like, "Wait, that's what I have to look forward to? It gets infinitely harder than that. Never mind." It's like I just like never. What am I doing with my life? Why even keep trying?
Well,
like that
you get stronger. Your character gets new abilities, and you get stronger.
You never told me that.
Customize. Yeah, I mean that's an important. That's the addiction part. That's he
was like, oh yeah, he's like, I fight 5 of them. They can fly and shit. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, never mind. I'm out of here.
I was impressed with like how expansive it is and how like you can just like ignore some stuff completely. Like how non-essential certain parts of it are. And you can go. You can run up.
Find that out. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, you do. You have to learn. Yeah, for sure.
But like, I beat Ori. I beat Death's Door. I beat Cult of Lamb. I feel like these are things that are in that wheel.
Yeah.
Like it's there. Like I'm part of me. It's like I can do this, but I just don't know if I'm going to.
It's a lot of. I don't think. It seemed to happen at a time. This made me question like my entire how much time do I have to dedicate to video games, because playing Hollow Knight couldn't do it with like a 20-minute session. Like I needed at least 2 hours each time I sat down to play it. And that's more rare these days. I somehow managed to do that. And maybe because I'm quitting my job, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Like maybe
that's what I need to do. I'll quit my job and I can beat Hollow Knight.
Well, also, and my family was away and the actual reason is my family was away. So
I think maybe a big part of it was that I was playing on Switch. I wonder if I'd sit down and
potentially
play it on the controller and actually play it on,
Yeah, I played it on Xbox.
Something to get off the Joy-Cons, because at the time back then it was the Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
because it was like, I want to say early Switch. I don't remember exactly, but pretty early on in the Switch. It's like that, maybe like its first big direct or second one.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the Shadow Drop.
It feels almost like an essential game for me in a way. And this is a topic I want to tackle at some point, somewhere, somehow. I was talking about it on Twitter, and I know you're off Twitter, so you probably missed it. But I was like, this is in a category of like S tier indie games from 2010 to 2019. Like that was such a, you know, we've just escaped that decade, so we don't really think about that time like we might like the 90s or the early 2000s. Like
Sure.
we're not quite like nostalgic yet, but like we're getting there.
Yeah, you will
right?
be.
So you can start looking at games like Stardew Valley, I think is up there.
We had
Hollow
a great
Knight,
run.
Ori,
Yeah, there was a great
Yeah.
run there with a bunch of
Shovel Knight, I think is in there as well. Like
Shovel
there's
Knight might be. I don't know if it's the top of them because everything came out, but Shovel Knight was like the first, and it's got to
Right.
be like one of the most influential of them.
Wii U.
Yeah,
Dude, like,
I mean
yeah,
for sure. The
definitely.
3DS, like 100%.
It's like these indie games aren't just like unique and special and like because they're different and because 3 people made them. It's like, no, these games are amazing
Yeah,
and
no, these are great
demand
games.
your attention. And I think Hollow Knight is up there. So I
I
feel
agree.
I feel great that it's
I
in
agree.
that collection of games that sit that high up in
Yeah,
my
even
mind,
though
and
didn't
I
finish
beat
it,
them.
I definitely respect it's great. I always thought that it's a great game,
Very great. Yeah, very good.
and the hype for Silk Song is warranted because of it.
Yeah. Well, again, like can they match it? Same idea.
That's and I think that's why it's taking so long.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Take
they're
your time.
trying to get there.
Do it right.
I would throw Golf Story in there, even though they ruined the sequel with their terrible follow up. I think tarnishes a bit.
It does taint it, doesn't it?
But Golf Story, if you could go back to that time when it released, Golf Story was incredible. It
I
was
love
so good.
And I want it. So yeah, what year did that come out? Like that is just nuts. Like basically from the PS4 when the PS4 came out and Xbox One, which was lesser known for the indies. Of
mean,
course.
I would even back up a little bit. I would go for the second half, really, like as you said, that decade.
Yeah.
Right there to like 2009, 2010. You
Yeah.
pick up from there, and you do pick up on things like Journey.
Yes.
You know, and like there's a lot of things out there like that. It's like we had like the Xbox Live Arcade, which we talk about all the time, and those are great games.
Yeah.
Castle Crashers, Geometry Wars, and stuff like that. But we're talking about
Limbo.
another. I think we're talking about another level. Then
Inside.
like those games leveled up.
Yep.
And then we got some games that are like seminal gaming experiences that'll like transform gamers to be.
Yeah, man. And people started to submit their own stuff. Like, oh, dude, I love this idea. Just like people submitting, like, okay, S tier. And I don't want look, there's a lot of games that are very, very good indie games from this era. I'm not talking about that. Like, and that's a harsh thing to kind of say. Like, there are lots of like A+. I'm talking the best of the best because there is a category that deserves that.
Will of the Wisps.
Totally.
I think the game's
like
perfect.
Ori is. That's what I mean. Like,
and the sequel, the sequel did everything better, and it's just it's supreme at that.
Yep. Well, I'd say Cuphead is up there too. Just like bonkers. How did they do that? That's an indie.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play it a whole lot because it's super hard. I think the animation is incredible. I don't know how much about the gameplay.
Yeah.
So I can't weigh in on that. I don't know if I'd put that up there.
I
also wouldn't put Cult of Lamb up there. I love that game.
Yeah.
And all of its social stuff, but as a game itself, it's not.
And that's just it. Like, and it's funny because you'll say that and people go like, "Oh, I guess Donnie hates Cult of Lamb." Obviously not true. It's like it's A+. Like this is it's saving for a very special title. Yeah, man. Look at that controller. Like,
but yeah, it's just as a game, I realize I will say its shortcomings, but it's edges. I see its edges, and I love it for those too.
Yeah, totally.
Death's Door might be. I actually would nominate Death's Door.
Death's Door is on my list to get back to.
It's not Ori too good.
Yeah,
but it's as good or better than most of the other games you're mentioning.
Yeah,
I personally like Death's Door over Hollow Knight.
I
got
lost.
Yes, Yarden. I love SteamWorld Dig 2. SteamWorld Dig 2 is so good.
Almost a perfect game, he says. Yeah,
it's so good. Death's Door, I am infatuated with the story of this little crow and where it goes on, and like it's very good.
I've got to get to it because I got lost, and then
Jeff and Mike call it Death's Bore, and it hurts me to my soul. It kills me that they don't like that game.
That just screams to me. Sometimes people just move on too quickly, man. They got too many other games they got to keep up with. It's like that. You just didn't.
It's Death's Bore. I'm like, did we play the same game? I absolutely
exactly.
And not the sad part, but the part that I'll never come to grips with. The reason that it hurts is like that game is absolutely right down the alley of like that's their shit, and all the other games that they like are just like it.
Yeah.
It's like, why not this one? Why what is about what specifically, and it's not for me to find out. They didn't like it. That's cool. But I love it. I love Death's Door.
Mhm.
Death's Door was great. Great ending.
Oh man. Nice. Nice. Well, you gotta feed your kids.
I do. Yeah,
little
I
past.
do. I gotta go clean up the dinner and make some sides and get it all in plates and stuff. So it was good.
Good.
It's almost 3
Okay,
hours.
what am I watching? I'm watching Hereditary next. That's the
Dude, I
I'm
can't
doing
wait.
well with these
I
assignments.
can't wait. Like
Yeah.
I need you to let me know like when it's happening. Like
Yeah.
like the moment you sit down and do it.
I think in the next 7 or 8 days.
Because it's
I'm
on my
off next
list
week.
this year. I've already made
Yep.
my list for Halloween.
Nice.
I have my Halloween list.
I love
Want to
it.
hear it? I'll share it to
Yes.
you.
I'll
let
write
me
it down
pull up-
later.
Let me pull up my.
I always listen back.
Tracking
Oh,
list.
Celeste, I'd put up on this list, by the way.
So I'm
Stardew Valley
working
Fury.
on. All right, so I've already watched 20 movies from this year.
Yeah.
I have a couple more to add to it, and then there are a couple will come out like in October, December. We just won't get to before we record the show.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've set up a list of movies that I do want to watch this year that are a mix of like new and old things I'm going to watch. So this is like my movie list for October. I have no idea how many I'm going to get to. I definitely won't watch them all. But this year I'm going to watch The Ruins, Jennifer's Body, The Burning, which is maybe at the top of the list. I'm very excited about that one. Ginger Snaps, Bay of Blood, Just Before Dawn, Deep Red, Aliens,
Nice.
the sequel, Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice. So my family has never watched the original Beetlejuice, which is
Mhm.
a failure on my part. Hereditary, Torso, Repulsion, and They Live,
Okay.
featuring Roddy Piper. Which
Nice.
is like horror adjacent, not kind of, but
In that
That's-
order, like or it to be determined.
no, they're not in
It's
order.
that's
Like
just a
it's
list.
just whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah.
We typically do 2 to 3 horror movies a week during October. My
Yeah.
wife and I,
I love that.
maybe 4, like because she knows when it's October, this is my time.
Nice.
You're like, this is no longer your time. We were watching horror movies.
I love it.
So it's usually 3 or 4. Like some Saturdays we'll watch 2 or 3 on a day.
Hell yeah.
So this is like my favorite time of the year.
I love
So
it.
those are on the ones. And Hereditary, she hasn't watched Hereditary since we saw it in theaters. It's been a few
Ah.
years. I watched it, I think, during Decade of Horror when we were getting to that year. I think I rewatched it then, but it's been
Yeah,
a few years for me
That sounds
too.
right. Yeah.
And I do love that movie. And did I read People Under the Stairs?
No.
That's the other one. That's on the list too. I'm sorry.
What a
looking at it, I'm like,
title. Holy crap.
have you ever heard of that?
Terrifying. No.
Yeah.
People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, it's like a horror comedy. I want to say Stephen King, but I don't think that's right. It's Craven, maybe.
Wes Craven.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Wes Craven. 1991. Oh wow.
A lot of these are directors, and some of these I haven't seen. So I haven't seen Torso. I have seen Deep Red. I have not seen Bay of Blood. Never watched that one.
Yeah.
The Burning, I have never watched, which is an issue on my part. The Burning has Jason Alexander in it. Very
Jason
young.
Alexander. 1981. The Burning.
Yeah.
What
It's
the
like
heck?
it's like Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Jason Alexander. Son of a gun.
A lot of people say that The Burning, like the reason that this is on my list, and it's been on my list for a couple years, I just haven't got to it. That's why now it's like the priority, is like on horror blogs and podcasts, YouTubes, if you're into this stuff. The Burning is often referred to as like the good Friday the 13th, the best Friday the 13th.
Oh wow.
Like people are like, what's your favorite Friday the 13th movie? Like the shitty, obnoxious things, The Burning,
The Burning.
which I've never seen. I know it's got Seinfeld, it's got Costanza in it, but
So
I
weird.
knew that, but I've never watched it. So this year,
He's got to be
I'll
so
have-
young.
Oh yeah, but so
Like, he
this
doesn't
year
look like
I'm actually gonna
George.
watch it. I just watched a crazy movie. Actually, I'll leave you with this one. Not that I'm telling you to watch it because it wasn't very good. Let me go pull it up because I don't remember the name of it. Let's see here. What is the? I saw somebody in the chat saying something. While I'm looking this up, tell me what the chat was saying.
Yon32 is wondering if when you said aliens, you meant aliens Romulus. But I think
So
you
I
meant
will be
the-
seeing Romulus in theaters next weekend. So that's definitely that's must see before we move forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that in the theater. I think
I
I opted out of Deadpool. and
Cutting
Wolverine.
Class, 1989's Cutting Class. I just watched,
Hmm.
starring a very young Brad Pitt.
Oh wow!
When a series of murders occur, all eyes fall on two students, a freshly discharged psychiatric patient and a notorious troublemaker.
I love it.
It
Was that his
kinda
first movie?
terrible. I don't think so.
Much an actor's
Um,
first movie is a horror movie.
But it's not particularly good. But I watched it because Brad Pitt was in it. I was like, this is cool. I never knew he was in this movie. And you're right. It's one of my favorite things about horror movies that a lot of actors get their start in horror.
Yeah, so good.
But it's got to be one of his first. He's also in an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Never watched it.
Oh, nice.
I let my wife watch last. She was like, "What the?" But yeah, Alien Romulus is on the list. I'll definitely be catching that one in theaters before, and I'll be catching Beetlejuice in theaters before we record Decade of Horror. But like, yeah, I'm starting to put.
You're there.
I'm starting to button it up. Yeah, like I'm almost done, at least with what I can watch. Like I still have several movies to get to before there.
Yeah.
Long Legs, Cuckoo,
Yes.
and I saw the TV Glower on my list
Yeah.
to get to. But the other ones I've seen a lot already this year. Very happy.
Nice.
Or
Well,
at least
there's my
for some of
list.
them.
I love this. I love that you can do that with movies too. Like, it's not like I want you to play this game and it'll take you 70 hours in 2 months or whatever. It's like, just go sit down and watch a movie.
Sure. That's why I always really like doing Decade of Horror. Like, so we record in September.
Yeah.
And usually to release on October 1st. And that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Be celebrating everything. Like, it doesn't do any good to save it to Halloween.
Yeah.
Here are a bunch of movies
Christmas.
you can watch now.
Totally.
Yeah.
Smart.
So I'm looking forward to those. And I like saving my October for older stuff.
Yeah.
I'm watching some classics and stuff. And so there are some classics. Oh, my wife told me she wanted to watch a monster movie, and I haven't picked one. So that'll go on the list too. I just haven't picked out which one.
What kind,
do
like, what do you mean?
Frankenstein. I don't do
okay.
like old. Like she wants to watch an old one. I don't know which one I'm gonna do yet. I'm thinking The Mummy.
Okay.
But I'm not. Maybe Dracula. I don't know. I haven't. I got to get into my. I have a classic. I got to get in there. I just haven't put any time into it. That might be the first one.
Jump on in. Yeah.
Because I think she really. I don't say really. She likes the older ones. I think maybe even more than I do.
Yeah. Nice.
She's really into like Vertigo. She likes the Hitchcock stuff.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see if Chelsea's up for Hereditary tonight, or if we just end up watching. Oh,
I would love it.
Me too. We're getting pizza. We're getting
That's
fancy
perfect.
pizza. Yep. We're
fancy. What's fancy pizza?
I don't know. It sounds expensive.
Is it
wherever it
nice
is?
Pizza? Good. Pizza?
I guess it's just deep dish, like some sort of just. I don't know. It probably doesn't look good, but it's thick.
Better than what I'm getting.
Yep.
It's thick, he said.
It's thick. Yeah, we're getting a thick pizza. Thick and meaty tonight, Donnie. That's what we're doing.
That's a great place to answer.
Yeah, we just leave it 3 hours in for the truly dedicated. You guys get the best stuff here at the end. All right, buddy. See ya.